So, like all good live streams start, I was in bed and I was reading through my comments before I went to bed on YouTube Studio. And somebody's like, "Oh, I just talked to Broken System, Broken Trust in the comment section of his live stream." And I said, "Oh, what live stream?" So, we're going to cover Josh's live stream because apparently I have ruined his life. What are you going to do? He currently has Vegas VIPs on right now. Yeah, I'm going to be rubbing my eyes until my coffee gets done doing whatever coffee does. So if you hear bubbling in the background, that's coffee station. There you go. It was behind me when I was facing this way. Now it's over in the corner. Anywho, it's almost an hour long. I'm going to cover the entire thing. I'm going to sit here and cover the entire thing. I don't care how long it goes. I have nothing to do tomorrow. The kids don't have school for the second day in a row because it's too cold. I don't want to say I'm about to be 33 in 3 days. I'll have a birthday stream on Friday. I don't want to say this because I'm only 33, but I'm going to say it anyway. Back in my day, we didn't get the day off of school when it was too cold. It's not even that cold. It's like 10 degrees. I wish I had any resemblance of alcohol at all right now. Kids are soft. 1,000%. All right, 27 people here on absolutely no notice, which is more than Broken System, Broken Trust has, and he has 70,000 subscribers. So I'm calling that a win already. Let's go over to the chat so I can actually see it over here first. God. Oh, God. It's just so ridiculous. I jumped into his live stream right in the middle of just absolute nonsense. I think like 35 minutes in. Let me bring up I'm sorry. Let me bring up YouTube on my phone so I can see what's going on right now in my chat. Mr. Diddy's here. What's up? Yeah, it's like 5 degrees, but with the wind chill, it's like negative 20. And they don't have school in the morning, which is terrific. They're slowly driving me crazy through the last couple days. All right, now there's 42 people watching. That's going to piss Josh off. All right, let's hook that up to what I need to hook it up to, and now we're in business here. Bang. Cast Graphics, what's up? Oh, Lord. Irish Dublin hitting up every social media thing. ACAB, I don't understand what that means. Is that one of those things that low IQ people say? Oh, God. Toothbrushes piss Josh off. Yes, 1,000%. Oh, I should be at the bottom of the screen. Am I not showing up? All cops are bad. Well, that's factually inaccurate. So it's very low IQ of you to say that. All right, who couldn't see me? Michael Lloyd, can you see me now? Can you see me now? I get pushed to the bottom of the screen. Actually, you know what I'll do since... Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Is that what I wanted to do? There we go. That's the ticket. Oh, that's the ticket. Oh, okay. Oh, God. I was aware of the Milgram experiments. I'm a sucker. Actually, Broken System, Broken Trust is a sucker. Literally and figuratively. All right. Let's play this from the beginning. It's probably going to start very badly. I just want to get to the 50-something minute mark where he starts talking to Vegas VIPs. Also, if somebody wants to go over and tell Vegas VIPs what's up, feel free to tell them what's up. Walter, it might just be another 3-hour stream. You never know. Come on. There we go.
Hello, peeps. We are live. Live. I just wanted to test a couple of things out. This is no crazy live stream. Just wanted to let you guys know we got some new drops. I'm going to show you a couple new drops, and then we're going to talk about the direction of this channel and some live stream updates. But here's a new drop for you.
My Dixie wrecked. What's that mean?
Adam's an idiot. And I bet you it's going to be an Irish demon.
There's one drop. Here we go. We got another drop. By the way, the new court date, if you didn't see in the thumbnail, that new court date that I just had, well, I guess getting attention on the internet, attention on the YouTubes. Apparently, we're making threats to these judges. Oh, my goodness, we're threatening their... Well, I mean, the cornered rat bites the hardest, and the legitimacy of these institutions is on the line right now. And that's such a power play, and I'm not trying to exaggerate by any means, but that's where it is, you know, and I'm sorry if, you know, it's going to happen either way. You know, the courts are on YouTube, so you can't prevent it. You can't stop it. So, but anyways, new drops, right? Here we go. My whole point to that was these videos are making the rounds. They're catching attention, and you can't stop it, as you see by the thumbnail. You know, this word is getting out, and there's nowhere to go.
Yes, and the word is that you're ridiculous. Like, it's not like it's getting out in a good way where people are like, oh, I feel for this guy. This guy, we need to support this guy. No, it's the exact opposite. I believe I covered it. Irish Demon covered it. Team Skeptic's probably going to cover it at some point. I think Old Squishy Gardner covered it. All of the court channels covered it. Law Talk with Mike covered it. And we've got hundreds of thousands of people laughing at you. Yes, he really thinks threatening the judge is funny to the point where on other channels, he is like dropping hints about blowing up the court and shit like that. And it doesn't make any sense. And yeah, he's treating it like a joke, but he said it and now he's trying to like walk it back.
With this, but you know, the cornered rats are in the corner. But here's a new drop for you. We played this drop and then I'll play the next one.
My Dixie wrecked. What's that mean?
Good old Wolvie, my Dixie wreck, and then here's the other drop.
This is the infamous YouTuber Broken System, Broken Trust.
Okay, Josh, pipe down. Apparently his next hearing is scheduled for 2/29/24, and it's scheduled for review. So I just want them to get to the jury trial and be done, but we must wait. I'm going to go grab some coffee. Don't throw up listening to Josh.
This is the infamous YouTuber, Broken System, Broken Trust. I love you, Irish Demon, man. Oh, what's up, Sovereign Dirt? Appreciate you being in here. Looks like 4 folks are interested in seeing where this channel is going. Daddy's court-appointed auditor. I mean, that's pretty hilarious. BSBT, Broken on YouTube. Let's see, Broken System, Broken Trust, as the Irishman would say. John Smith, what's up? Hello from Northeast Ohio. Hello from Southeast Michigan. And hello to all my neighbors to the south, which there's a lot of Canadians that live to the south of me. As crazy as that may sound, I believe up to 70% of Canadians live south of me, but I could be wrong in that. Let me double check geography before I go making the claim, but it's pretty crazy to think about, isn't it? Your neighbors to the south of you. But anyways, hello to you as well from Southeast Michigan. Just playing a couple drops, doing a test stream, giving you guys updates where the channel might be headed. I definitely appreciate Paul for doing the live streams. That's awesome. Gives me an opportunity to focus on, you know, doing what I need to do, like as far as work-wise, right? And it allows, you know, a platform, or it allows cross-trade. There's so many benefits to it. You know, there's obviously some there's pros and cons to everything, right? And the con is, well, Paul is good on his own. I don't want to fuck anything for him up, right? That's like my self-doubt. That's the criticism creeping in there. Don't want to feel like I'm, the cause of, something that was successful going unsuccessful. But I don't see that happening because there's certain, stars are on the rise. There's no stopping it. The ascent is clear. My ascent, not so much, but
I was just about to say, my guy, you gained all of your subscribers through a stolen short from a police department. And what other people think is you buying subscribers, which from your community, I wouldn't doubt for a second. Just got the hashtag, yeah, Josh is a bad dad. Crystal, I smell weed. He's still talking to Vegas VIPs. I can't wait to get to the end of this hour live stream with him because the end is great. The beginning is great. It's just, good times.
we'll work on that, right? What up, yeah? I actually set this up, this live stream up, just so that maybe we could talk backstage, but feel free to come up. I'm not really doing anything except for playing the new drops. If you're just getting in, I'll play the drops for you before you come up. We got a yaya. We got a proper yaya right there. Sovereign Dirt coming through. And let's see. I'm sure you're going to block me. Are you going to get a job with healthcare benefits and retirement ever? Thank you. Rick Turd is trash and was never a LEO or Marine. I don't know why Rick Turd is trash. The name is telling me a lot. But Rick Turd is trash and was never a LEO or Marine. So I'm guessing this is like a troll name intended for some guy named Rick who may or may not have been an LEO or Marine. I could be reading into this way too much. Tell me if I'm on to something. I'm sure you're going to block.
Oh, Lord. You showed up. You showed up. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. And then Greg follows it up with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, guys. Oh, God, I wish we could get Josh involuntarily committed for the foreseeable future. That would literally be the best case scenario for society as a whole.
Block me. Well,
glad you made it.
I don't want to block anybody. This channel is meant for love and meant for discussions and meant for, well, it's not meant necessarily for discussions. It's meant for meaningful discussion. So it's going to get heated. It's going to get messy. Folks are going to get offended, triggered. The trigger factors are beautiful. Like, that's the whole goal of this channel. If this channel triggers you in any way, drop a link. Oh, shit. Yeah. Might help. And then due to porn bombers, we will only be opening this up to folks that I know, because there are porn bombers that are trying to take this channel out.
Robert, nobody's trying to take the channel out.
I can see why. This channel could be a threat to your whole entire belief structure. My whole belief structure was blown out from underneath me. I don't want anybody to feel that way. I don't want you to feel like your belief structures are crumbling around you. But it appears that way to me. That's how society appears to me. That's how everything around me looks right now. It could be different for you. I'm not saying, I'm just telling you from my perspective how it's looking right now. So I don't know how much I'm a part of that. I don't think anything I'm doing is.
Yeah. Who just said it? Just said that there's 2 people in his live stream. Yes. Oh my Lord, I just missed it again. Hey, you didn't Bay say bye to Chrissy. Yeah, he had 8 people or 9 people watching at one point, and I was one of them. I started a random live stream at 11:15 out of a dead sleep, and I've got 87 people. This guy's got 70,000 subscribers and has 9. I'm probably right now already past his whole video in views, and it's been 15 minutes. Yeah. It's not going good for
that on that sort of grandiose scale. But I would say what I'm doing is working, at least for what it's intended to do. But we got people in the house. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not gonna call Josh out because what's the use anymore? This guy literally said his channel was made to create generational wealth for his children. He puts out only shorts and does a few live streams here and there, which don't get views, and he's demonetized on YouTube. So what's the point of being on YouTube? You said it was about creating generational wealth for your children, and now you're demonetized, putting out only the content that makes you the least amount of money. Like, riddle me that, Josh. Riddle me that.
Yeah. What is up?
Okay, I'm just going to throw this out to Josh. Feel free to go tell him. If he made a channel where it was just him walking around paying people $1 to kick him in the nuts, he would get more views than he's currently getting.
The price of rice in Mogadishu is out of control.
You don't live in Mogadishu. It doesn't matter.
The price of rice in Mogadishu. Nice.
Speaking of Mogadishu,
So-
and there's something fishy going on there. You know, those 2 Navy SEALs supposedly died off the coast of Somalia yesterday, or I think it was yesterday. Well, I don't know if they died, but they're missing.
Off the coast of Somalia.
Yeah, that
I am
Mogadishu
totally
is
in
the
the dark
capital
on
of
this one.
Somalia. Oh, you're in the dark on that one. Well, there's the Houthis are in Yemen, right? And Somalia is right
Uh-huh.
to the east of Yemen, on the
Yeah.
right, and specifically where the pirates are.
Okay, let me just stop this for a second. 2 Navy SEALs went missing yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Could have been the day before. Because they were on a mission to do a nighttime sea raid, which are dangerous. Anything that involves water and nighttime are dangerous. They were going on a mission to seize Iranian missiles headed for the Houthi rebels. It's just these guys have no fucking idea what they're talking about.
But now, like, the Houthis are trying to be all piratey, and close down the Bob Elman
Mrs. Schrodinger's cat.
or whatever the hell it's called, entering
Oh,
the Red Sea. You know about that, right?
Uh-huh.
East of Yemen, on the
Yeah.
right, and Somalia is typically where the pirates are, but now, like, the Houthis are trying to be all piratey, and close down the Bob Elman dot or whatever the hell it's called, entering the Red Sea. You know about
okay, so currently the Houthi rebels are shooting missiles at ships transversing that area. And to my knowledge, the United States has several destroyers, cruisers, frigates sitting there, literally just shooting down missiles. They have, I believe it was one of the UK destroyers, which are absolutely dope, shooting down missiles. But this guy's like, they're trying to shut. It's not possible. Are they going to get out there in their rowboats and try to take on destroyers? No. And then we have, because of the whole Israel thing, we've got 2 floating cities called aircraft carriers. One of them literally hitting the Houthi rebels was the aircraft carrier that I was on, the Eisenhower. And they just hit the Houthi rebels with like a shit ton of jets. I might bring that up later, but the Houthi rebels are just, they're picking pieces out of rubble. Like all their friends are in like 40 pieces. Like, but yes, people with the multiple personality disorder. Yeah, the Houthi rebels are having a bad time.
I'm in the dark on that as well. I've been working so much. It's actually ridiculous how much I've been working, which is good. I'm very happy and I'm very grateful to be working. I'm so grateful for a lot of things right now. I'm grateful I got a roof over my head. I'm grateful I got bills at work, but that means I'm in the dark on so much. So you'll have to forgive me, or well, nobody has to forgive me, but please forgive me.
Come on.
Well, you know what the U.S. military does. It protects shipping.
It protects shipping lanes, yeah, from pirates.
Yeah, and that's kind of their big thing, you know. And so what's going on is that there's a war in Israel, and in Ukraine.
You don't say.
But the war in Israel is causing some feathers to be ruffled, right? And they're like, you know, all up in Gaza, right? And they may or may not be like doing a genocide in Gaza right now. And the Houthis,
May or may not be.
They may or may not be, right?
They aren't. Sorry to break this. Of course, the sovereign citizens who are labeled domestic terrorists would stick up for terrorists. Shocker. Shocker.
And the Houthis, they're in Yemen, and they support Gaza, right? But really, they're an Iranian proxy, okay? And so anyway, they've been firing missiles at ships, container ships that are going through the Bab el-Mandab Strait, which is what enters the Red Sea right at Yemen, right? And then and so they basically
It's 100 days old.
Global shipping to have to go around the southern tip of Africa instead of going through the Bab el-Mandab.
For those of you who don't know, this is people. He thinks of himself as many people because he only refers to himself as people, which is a plural for, you know, a person. Many people, many persons are called people. And he only responds to people. Josh only calls him people. It's very strange.
Up straight in the Suez Canal, right? And
the Suez Canal.
Yeah, the Suez Canal. In order to get to the Suez Canal from the south, you have to go through the Bab el-Mandab Strait, and that's right on the west side of Yemen, and that's where the Houthis.
And if you ever get a chance to go through the Suez Canal, do it. It's hilarious. I've done it several times. It's hilarious. It's literally a strip of water through the desert. And you can look and just see random armed people standing, looking at their own country to keep people in. It's great times. An immaculate bridge is somewhere in there too. It's great.
Houthis are. And so they hadn't hit any ships, but the U.S. and there's like a coalition of countries that have been over there, like shooting these missiles out of the sky. And they had, you know, shot them all down, but the United States got kind of tired of it, right? And
What did we do?
The United States and Britain went and blew up like
Yeah, we did
20 air bases and stuff in Yemen and just unleashed holy hell, right? For like a day.
The whole world seems to be in conflict, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's all connected.
It's really not.
Right? And,
Yeah.
And
Oh,
one
it's
thing is leading to another, right? And I mean, it started with Ukraine, and I never really talk about this stuff, but I mean, I do pay attention to what peeps are saying, right? And I mean, in Ukraine, and now, which is really the United States versus China, okay? Because
No, it's not. It's really like Ukraine versus Russia. And if you want to stretch that out, it's really like NATO versus Russia. We need Kanan to fact check this. So what he's saying is factually accurate. He's just like 100 days late on the Israel Gaza nonsense. I literally think the 100th day was the other day. The Houthi rebel thing was the other day. We've been shooting down missiles for weeks because we can. We have the technology and just the absolute boredom. We did hit a bunch of their targets. It was the U.S. and I want to say it was the U.K. as well. I did see some of the UK aircraft were mixed in with the I'm drawing a blank on what I'm trying to say. Like the roster of shit that got sent over there for that strike. I did see, not in the number that American shit was there, but I did see some UK stuff. Can you take your weather back, please? It's currently 5 degrees here in Southeast Kentucky. Well, funny thing is, it's 5 degrees here, so I would not know what to take back. Yeah, it's not a conflict with China yet. Nor will it be, I don't believe. South Korea is saying that North Korea is letting Russia test some of their newer long-range missiles. I did hear something out of Korea the other day. The South Koreans and North Koreans have a like no weapon zone, I believe, in the ocean to the west, like off to the west coast. And sorry. I guess North Korea was just dropping artillery shells over on that side, making them all explode. The South Koreans heard it. We're like, oh, shit. And then North Korea's like, oh, it was just simulation sounds, blah, blah, blah. We got you good. And yeah, now South Korea's like, you can now do nothing there. Suck it. But yeah, good times. But yeah, it's definitely not America versus China. It's Ukraine versus Russia with NATO equipment. So China really isn't involved. Basically, to my knowledge, all that Russia is doing with other countries is buying back their own old shit so that they can use it against Ukraine.
Russia is China's proxy, and Ukraine is the United States' proxy, right? And
incorrect.
And so, you know, Iran is another proxy of China, basically, right? BRICS, right, is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, right? And so all the baddies, right, according to the West, right, they may or may not be the.
According to N3, they are the baddies. Something about randomly offing probably a combined million or so people recently, and not including the hundreds of millions of people that just Russia and China have offed a lifetime of their own people. But yeah, they're great people. They're great people. Said no one ever.
Baddies, but they're the baddies.
I'm getting more coffee.
They're, you know, it's like they've only got like 100,000 subscribers compared to like the West with like 20 million subscribers, right? So, you know, they don't have a chance in hell, right? You know, when it's all said and done, but
they don't have a chance in hell when it's all said and done.
No, not right now, at least. I mean, all governments fall, you know, but right now they're on the wrong side. You know, they're on the losing side.
Well, in his defense, BRICS does pretty well spell it out for him.
You know, which it doesn't matter which side you think is right. They're on the losing side right now. Right, for absolutely sure, you know. But anyway, so the US and the UK went over.
That's the thing. Josh isn't listening. He does. Okay, so I think we've all been in a relationship at this point. When you're not interested in a topic, it's basically saying, oh man, that's crazy. Oh, wow. No way. That's crazy. Josh is doing that to him and he just hasn't gotten the memo. He just keeps repeating back little, you know, bits of what he said. Chrissy seems like he's always drunk. I think those 3 charges really kind of hit him in the feels. He said something racist after, so that's always great. Let me try to get a co-host here real quick.
And bombed a bunch of places in Yemen. And then somehow...
You know what? Let me pause it while I do this. Okay. We're gonna see if my co-host wants to come off the bench and speak on war things.
Another, like, some Navy SEALs were boarding like a little dinghy ship off the coast of Somalia, and a Navy SEAL falls in the
you're
water,
missing the fun.
and it's protocol for another Navy SEAL to jump in after him, assuming that he's had a medical issue, and they're both missing.
They're both missing.
Yeah, 2 Navy SEALs, and like nobody's saying shit about it, right? And it's just highly suspect. It's highly suspect. I mean, Navy SEALs don't just drown.
Navy SEALs do just drown. Everyone just drowns. Again, it was a nighttime operation in the ocean. He was probably wearing every bit of his gear. Like, yes, shit can happen, especially if one was having, he said something about a medical emergency. Like, I didn't look too much into it. I did find it. What was it? A few hours ago, about 6 or 7 hours ago. Navy SEALs go missing, are dangerous and complex. That's just what the article says. Another article, 2 missing Navy SEALs on mission that seized Iranian missile parts headed for Houthis. Another, these are just the worst sources ever. 2 U.S. Navy SEALs are missing after one fell off a boat on a night mission near Somalia. Or, this is going to be crazy, or they fell into the water, they got to shore, and they don't want to be like, oh, hey, Somalia and the Houthis. Yeah, they're just chilling in country. Hopefully you don't find them. Like, that's kind of something you would want to keep on the low. Like, there's a million things ever that could be happening, but because these guys are so uneducated on, like, I don't know, anything, they're just making things up because they're conspiracy theorists. It's great.
They don't really just disappear either.
No. No. I mean,
Oh my God. Okay. When I was in the Navy, when I was literally on my way out, we were having one of our last underways before I was gone. Somebody fell into the water on another ship. Guess who never found the body? The entire U.S. Navy. They called my aircraft carrier out from doing actual things in the Atlantic with all of our, destroyers and whatnot that were with us to a completely different spot in the Atlantic to try to find somebody who took their boots off, left them on the fantail, and jumped into the water. Body never found. Turns out when you fall into the water, unless you get found quick, you regularly just don't get found. But yes, but please go on. Experts of everything.
Kill 2 Navy SEALs, like it's go time. Right? It's definitely go time. So the US might just be kind of playing hush hush because they don't want to have to broaden and escalate things.
If there is a logical reason, why not lead with that reason?
I don't know, but
yeah, it's coming. It's coming because this country is going to get so fed up with shit, and they're already so fed up with shit. It's like they'll need another distraction to be like, hey, look over here. Like, don't worry about what's going on in your own country. Like, look over here.
Whoa, what's going on in the
I heard the ocean was
a big Strait is
place.
definitely
It is indeed.
Affect you.
It's a large place.
It has, like, everything, all shipping and now has to go around the coast of Africa, which adds like 9,000 miles to the trip, right? So the price of everything is going to go up. I mean, the price of ramen noodles has gone from 36 cents to 42 cents.
Keeping track of the price of ramen
like
already?
The last few weeks, yeah. So
wow.
On ramen noodles, right?
Wow,
And
that's
ramen
crazy.
Noodles, like they don't change price.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ramen noodles are like, you got to
tell me this dude cares. Josh is not listening at all. Oh wow, yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. The dude's talking about ramen noodles right now. I'm very upset. You can't tell if that's a cable for his earbud or a strap to something, but it looks like an air tube stuck to his chin. Hey, possibly. BSBT's and people's food source is ramen noodles. That is, in my opinion, my humble opinion, that's accurate.
to be able to get
The
a pack
expensive
of ramen.
ramen.
And shit.
Oh no, the expensive ramen.
Man, I felt good when I found a.
What?
Yeah, I was grateful. I was grateful when I found a box of ramen noodles. I was like, hell yeah, that came through in the camel toe clutch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, ramen noodles.
I found a box of ramen noodles not long ago when I was about to be starving, and I thought I was gonna die for the winter. I thought I was gonna have to resort to e-begging.
You haven't already?
Huh. Well, I mean,
yeah.
You could go mine precious metals off the surface at a drive-thru, find enough to get a ramen noodle pretty much any day.
Pretty much any day. That's the hustle. Well, here in Michigan, we got a different hustle because you can return aluminum cans, and they're 10 cents each. And you can.
I'm back tomorrow. I got an entire garbage bag just filled with soda cans from like one of the kids' birthdays last month. A lot of Dr. Pepper and Vernors. What can I say? Yes, doesn't he e-bag every time he posts anything? I think so. Yeah, it's like, wait. So you're basically explaining to all of us why you shouldn't have your children. Okay.
You can usually find a steady cachet. I mean, for me, it's worth it to do it at 10 cents. If it was 5 cents, like in some of those other, low balling states, for, or give half the result, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way better here in Michigan. I'll bet you our buddy Kevin, what he did is he probably went and bought pop in Ohio and returned it to Michigan, which is highly illegal. And he should probably, it's highly illegal. I think we should look into it and launch a full investigation to see if because he lived near the border of Toledo, he said at one.
No, I didn't live in the border near Toledo. I lived in fucking Toledo. And I lived in Maumee. I bought drinks in Ohio and stayed in Ohio. If I didn't have any reason to come to Michigan, I'm not coming to Michigan. And now I live far away from the border, and I have 2 Krogers within like a mile of my house. But I love how he's so obsessed with me. Instead of going, damn, he's a woman beater. He literally is recording himself breaking the law. He's facing several charges as it is. And I'm sitting over here just like, hey, I have all my kids and no charges, but yes, I'm the problem. You got me.
One point. I know that little money grubber. He probably collected a shit ton of cans from the Ohio side that he purchased, took him back on the Michigan side. I guarantee it.
Well, I saw that episode of Seinfeld, and I know you don't like Seinfeld, but that really happened on Seinfeld. And Newman, Kramer talked Newman into using the post office truck one day a year on Mother's Day because there's an extra truck that Newman signs up for, and it's only half full, and so they could fill the rest of the truck up with aluminum cans and take them to Michigan. It backfired, but seriously,
It backfired.
On a serious note though, like Arizona, I think just like charged somebody for doing that. In fact, I think they charged like
holy shit
for doing that, like on a grand scale.
They should run some DNA forensics and everything. They should make these.
Yeah, Grape Fanta is not bad.
Put those folks on the chain gang,
but no, it's
send them to 12 years of hard labor for that shit.
Oh God! Somebody said it's a skit. This has to be a skit. This isn't real.
You know what I mean? Let them go.
Yeah.
It's not real. Can't be real.
If there's not room for them, make sure you let.
Yeah, right.
Josh's brain just back.
Just open the doors, let them walk out free. As a matter of fact, just give.
We could, but I already have a hard time
just,
understanding.
Set up like free tent lots for them when they get out of prison, so they're extra pissed off and angry, and then return them to society, not rehabilitate.
And his lisp gets worse as the live stream goes on.
Rehabilitated or not, built up in any way. Make sure you release those folks back out into the wild. That's great for society.
Drugs.
I just want to address Rick Turd. Yeah, what do you think of this name right here? This Rick Turd is trash and was never LEO or Marine.
Yeah, I don't know who he's trolling there.
I think it's a troll for me because it's like, wow, there's some transparency for you. I'll make you a deal, Rick Turd. If you tell me if you've ever owed child support, tell me what your last year's tax return said. If you want to tell me that information, I'll trade private information with you. I'll actually disclose how much child support I paid. But first you have to handle and you have to show last year's tax returns. Okay. You come up here and you.
So instead of for how much he's supposed to pay in child support for his daughter, which he does not pay, so why would I or anyone need to go on your channel, provide you actual personal information for a monetary figure that you could just give off the top of your head?
Show me your last year's tax returns. I will gladly show you some receipts for child support. Is that a deal, Rick Turd? Rick Turd, just let me know if we can make a deal here.
Shit, I'll go look. I have it. I'll go look.
With benefits and retirement.
Benefits in
That device unexpectedly stopped. Headset or my mic still working? Anybody out there in wonderful land? Hopefully it's still working. But no, so the greedy person coming to take it is somebody needing help caring for your children because you cannot. So, oh, you think you have a good nest egg? Well, you have that nest egg because you're not taking care of anyone. You literally just said that you found a box of ramen noodles and you thought you were going to be deceased through the winter. Yeah, that's weird. I just got a message that said it disconnected. All right. But yeah, that's he's being super disingenuous about what child support is and what actually happens. No audio from Josh or no audio from me. I'm going to end up punching my laptop here in a second. Yeah, let's stop for a second. So weird. You guys see me putting that up? Josh, no Josh. Okay. All right. Can you guys hear it now? Actually, hold on. Okay, I'm coming clear. Video, audio. Okay, we're good on that note. All right, can we hear Josh again? Can you hear Josh? All right, we're going to stop sharing for a second. We are going to. Oh, shut up, Josh. Jesus. Okay. Laptop is completely freaking as of yet. Or as I punch it. I'm literally about to punch it. All right, we're gonna do some. All right, I'm gonna unplug my mouse because my mouse is freaking out, and we're gonna see where today takes us. Wait one. So this is just a great example of technical difficulties. Who is the butt nugget in the fake Gandalf beard? That is people. Oh no, I'm literally about to punch it. No joke. Let's see what we're working with here, folks. I can still hear Josh, yeah. All right. Let's get to my fancy panel of many chords. We are going to find the chord that feels like the mouse. We're going to turn that one off. All right. We are going to go old school just on the laptop. You know what? It was probably my phone being on the laptop. Let's see what we're doing now. Man, is it really messed up still? Dear Lord. Oh, people. Okay, gotcha. That's the criminal phone. Oh, yeah. What in the hell is going on? Ah, there we go. Perfect. Okay. I think we're back. Now I just have to find the spot. We're at. Come on. Up. I got to the ramen noodle part. We're getting close, people. Oh, so wait one. So my mouse just started freaking out and kept highlighting and pausing and unpausing and pausing and unpausing and pausing and unpausing and then lighting up the whole screen again. But yeah. I'm at the we should release people back into society, so I'm trying to here, I guess I can turn my camera back on here. Yeah, so I'm trying to find that part of the live stream because I don't think we want to sit back and listen to the whole thing again. I think we're good. All right, let's try this again. Josh broke my computer 1000%.
Wrestling,
Well,
not
you guys
the
hear it now?
stage.
So there's a difference.
Well, I was an actual. I was an actual Marine.
Yeah. I mean, you know, despite what I may say and think, like, I don't count the Marines, right? Like their actual abilities, right? I think very highly of the United States military and their abilities to bring down extreme violence
And their abilities, yeah,
right? Yes,
yeah. What they're used for, yeah. What they're used, yeah. What they're used for definitely is something to, you know, not exactly support, but I do support what what they do. I guess.
I'm not saying I support it. I'm just saying that I recognize that they know how to bring extreme violence and don't fuck with the Marine. I don't care if he showed up on base on crank one day.
You know what?
I don't care. He still knows how to do some shit. Okay, don't. Especially if.
But that's probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
So that's a shot if you're in the Navy or a seaman. Yeah, I've met several Marines, lots of Marines that were absolute pussies. So Josh being one of them, he came to my house and literally shit himself and ran away. It was good times. So I don't know what homeless man here is talking about.
If you're a Navy seaman, stay the fuck away from a Marine is the message. But yeah. Marines will show up to your house and rip your fucking head off most of the time. Unless your name's Josh Manson. Not all the time, but most of the time. They will. But anyways, yeah, I was thinking of something. I want to get a couple opinions. And Joe Cool is in the house. Joe Cool is here.
House. Yeah, the house.
Yeah.
Joe Cool doesn't even know about that. Like, I mean, he knows he's fully badged in the union now. He's got the pimp cup. That's the pimp cup, by the way. The house always gets
the pimp cup.
Right? The house always gets a piece of the action, Joe Cool. So now you know,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you've always getting a piece of that shit right off the top, right? Like, you know, the house will pay out 49% on one side and 49% on the other, but 2%,
yeah, it's still connected to my body.
To the house
that's going to the house
time.
Every motherfucking time. Every motherfucking time, right?
Yeah.
So, I believe the topic was, did Joe Cool know about? So there's a thing about like showing up, and I wanted to discuss that real quick because there were a few chatter boxes and a few comments related to this. It was showing up to somebody's house. Okay, where I come from,
This is why we're covering this section right here.
live in a place, live in the Midwest. We live in a place society. It's also like a hockey society, right? Where if you're getting out of bounds, somebody might come and like punch you in the face, and it's perfectly normal. Like a hockey scrum could break out at any moment, right? And I have a hockey family. I mean, we never got into physical altercations, but the reason we never got into physical altercations is because we live in a hockey family. Somebody will punch you in the mouth if you got out of hand. That way, nobody ever got out of hand.
I got to interrupt because if a Marine comes to your house, they don't meet you on the sidewalk, okay? They meet you in the house. Okay?
A Marine came to my home and, a Marine that got kicked out for meth came to my home and didn't even come on my property. Was scared so shitless, he didn't come on my property. After talking about assaulting me for 2 years, he couldn't even come on my property.
They could definitely kick some doors down and fucking drag your ass out of a fucking house.
Josh, you were an electrician. Cool your jets.
That is for sure.
You don't get to say they came to your house when they're on the sidewalk. If they came to your house, you're in fucking trouble, dude. You're in big fucking trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been targeted, and you're probably not going to last. You're probably going to coexist with your spirit animal after that encounter. You know what? And that's what I wanted to say earlier, and then I got distracted because I was trying to get some sort of panel going. I've got 19% battery, by the way, so this wasn't planning to be any long stream by any means. What I mean by that is if we do get panel members up here and things get a little excited and the conversation gets going, I can leave it open, but I wouldn't be able to participate. I'll have to plug the phone in somewhere to charge. But
no, this isn't going to be. This isn't going to be a streaming contest.
Yeah, this isn't going to be a streaming contest. But what did I want to say? Oh, we can go back to the Rick Cruden AC thing, but I did want to. What else did I want to speak on?
Of relevance, probably.
There were a couple other things, and now I can't think of them because I got all distracted because my battery level is down. Oh, punching folks in the face and living in a polite Midwest society. I'm sure that what Kevo does is he calls these places. You've got a crazy Marine. You have a Marine that's going crazy, and then he has like bomb emojis. You should see these things. They're bomb emojis with 100 next to them. I think he means 100 bombs coming down there. It was a Zoom.
Yes, he in the Marines and couldn't even do the entire thing because he claims he got senioritis, and that's why he was sucking dick for meth in the backseat of cars. But yes, this guy's on panel with a guy who thinks he's multiple people, talking about how badass he was because he was an electrician in the Marines who sucked dick for drugs. Like, all right. Oh, God. Yeah, it kills me. Also, I not once called the court and been like, there's a guy. That's how Josh sounds. I sound like a normal person, and he does not. I did not call the court and say, well, there's this guy who posted this thing. Everyone else let the court know because there were legitimate concerns that a sovereign citizen, domestic terrorist, was making bomb threats to a court that he was going to at the end of the week. And it's not like the court said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They took it so serious, the judge stepped down, and now he's facing the chief judge of the 23rd District Court. So this is a very, very, very clear attempt by him to walk back his comments because he didn't think the court would find out about those comments. He wanted to try to look like a hard ass to everyone else, but then when the court found out, now he's trying to walk it back.
Zoom call, you idiot.
He was in for like 3 years.
How are you going to? I'm launching truth bombs and detonating them in a Zoom court, and I've done this, and I've
Zoom
made
court.
videos. He watches all my videos. He's
not.
either that dense and that dumb, which I don't. I'm starting to think maybe he is like wickedly genius at some levels. He can't do algebra, but it's so, he's managed to be the most boring guy ever, but it just has everything handed to him. Like everybody else does his work. I'm convinced somebody else makes his thumbnails for him. I'm convinced that all he does, he goes, somebody type out some things for me to say on this video, please. Just put in all the things that Josh has ever done wrong. I don't care if it's a decade ago or 2 decades ago. This guy needs to be reminded that he, he threatened his sister with a snake. He told his sister on April Day that a snake was in her basement, which is true, by the way. I did do that to my sister.
Yeah, no joke. It seems like Josh is, projection. My guy, you literally got demonetized for stealing other people's content and spam uploading it to shorts. But you're telling me the content I put out, turns out I'm the only one in my office. You guys can, there's a coffee machine and a wall. I mean, Steve helps out sometimes, but Steve's a fish, so I don't get much help from him. But he's literally telling me that I have other people do my shit for me. I've literally been making my own thumbnails since day one. I've never asked anyone to make my own content or make my content. I don't have a script. I literally have a scripted channel and it's got one video because I hate scripted content. Everything that I do is literally like off the top of my head in the moment. But yeah, I'll never understand this kid.
I called she has a severe phobia for snakes, so I called her on April Fool's Day, told her I found a snake in her basement. That bitch was tripping out so hardcore that she was so scared the whole day. So anyways, Kate, I'm not going to say the name. I'm going to refrain from saying the name. Kevin, okay, you're trying to the little engine that couldn't. You're trying to.
I'm like Heisenberg. He knows my name, but he's too afraid to say it. Say my name.
Make something into something that it's not. You're trying to escalate something to a point where nobody believes you at this point. Nobody at that courthouse.
My man's picking beard hair out of his weed.
Believes you. They were all acting like it was a big deal, but if it was a big deal, I would have left in cuffs.
They changed judges, and now you're facing the chief judge of the 23rd District Court. And I know for a fact that there's a current investigation going on about you. So maybe it seems like you're trying to make light of a very serious situation because you don't have any of the details. It sucks to suck, though.
The fact I didn't leave in cuffs shows you I threatened a judge, according to you. I'm not admitting to that. Well, I already admitted that I threw the truth bombs and detonate them, so I guess I can't really say that. See how this adventure is helping me, and I have time for inner reflection before I go off and get triggered on Kevin? But anyways, Kevin, I notice you're not coming to confront me anywhere. You run from me. All you trolls run from me. You can't hack a conversation about the ideas. You have to attack me personally.
First off, there's actually a video, several videos on several channels of Josh in person running away from me. So there's that. Second, I've gone on panels with Josh. Do you know what it consisted of? Me asking him me asking him logical questions, and his response was, I don't answer questions. So what's the point of trying to have a debate or a conversation with someone who, when asked a question that he knows is going to be a terrible look for him, he doesn't answer questions? No one's scared of you, Josh. We've just all been there and done it. We've all been there, tried to talk to you, tried to debate you, and then when push comes to shove, you say, I don't answer questions. What's the point? What's the point after that? 3 years of doing that, I've kind of got the hint that you're not trying to answer questions. That's not a good way to have a discussion or a debate if you don't want to answer questions.
And it's like, what do we have against him? Shoot, he's making bomb threats to a court. Holy crap, I can't believe he did that. That's your interpretation of it. I would love to, by the way, I would love to see the court paperwork on that, on the charging document. He put a 100 emoji next to a bomb emoji that looked like a cartoon emoji. It looks kind of cartoonish, but we as a serious threat.
Well, somebody was just either arrested or convicted for threatening a judge. I think it was one of the judges in the Trump thing. And
Oh, nice.
Now he's going to go into
what he
politics.
said
Great.
made no sense to me at all, but he totally confessed and was like, explained it all. But it made no sense to me. Like, I don't know how anybody called that out as a threat, but he confessed. He's like, oh yeah, it was a threat.
He confessed.
Yeah, totally.
Well, you want to know what's crazy about? Yeah, you want to know what's crazy about the threat that I made is that because I put the same thing in Masshole in her chat, and you would think with an army of trolls, if anybody interpreted that as a bomb threat, they would have called Taylor. Nobody made a big deal out of it until one guy made a big deal out of it. Then all of a sudden, the court gets notified that they're.
I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but me and Kate have a shit ton of the same subscribers. So that should tell you something, Josh.
Quote unquote bomb threat.
The battle of the brains and
So then
facts.
What are they thinking as far as a credible bomb threat? So there was a fake bomb threat that was made. There was a fake bomb threat made.
Where was that?
And whoever made the fake bomb threat, they need to be held accountable. I made the lawful threat. I made the real lawful threat of detonating truth bombs in a Zoom court. I made those legal and lawful threats. But I did not make the fake bomb threat. We need to figure out what the consequence should be. What is the consequence for the guy who filed the fake bomb threat? That's what we have to figure out.
I think being the little engine that couldn't is consequence enough.
Yeah, you're probably.
Josh calls me the little engine that couldn't do what? I'm unsure. So in response, I started calling Josh the little engine that couldn't see his kids. And now he's doubled down on calling me the little engine that couldn't what? The world will never know.
Probably right. I mean, that's punishment enough. Has to look at himself. Has to look at itself in the mirror every day.
I don't know. I think he can avoid looking at himself in the mirror.
I think he looks at himself on video and he goes, "Oh, look at me. Look at me. I spit out." You know what? Oh, his famous one today. He made a video. He made a short about me, proving that there was a proof of service on my last family court date. Which I'm not going to get talking about family court. That's a huge turnoff. Everybody hates it. But anyways, I will just say this. They show a proof of service. Nowhere is my signature on there that would indicate that I ever got anything. And then this lady is stupid enough to put her signature fraudulently on a thing saying she gave me the proof of service. She's saying that she gave me the proof of service. It's like, holy shit, imagine that. Just caught another government official or processor or whoever the fuck this.
He's saying that because his narrative. Shit. He could have been served. He might have been too high to fucking remember. He may have been trying to hide the fact that he got the paperwork because he's trying to delay, because that's what he does. His delay tactics are his favorite thing. That's why currently in Taylor, he's on his 10th or 11th. Damn, obviously I'm exaggerating, but it's 10th or 11th time going to court. He just wants to delay.
Diane lady is, I just caught somebody else forging a document or making a non-factual claim or a straight up false claim. So anyways. Well, imagine that, right? Imagine seeing a government document and then it being fraud. Imagine it's fraudulent. There's nothing truthful on the document. Imagine that. Holy shit! It's
so
almost going
like
to get to.
it's like a police report. Are you talking about a police report?
Oh my God, no people.
I'm
You
talking
said to
about.
imagine. You said to imagine this false. So I'm bringing a police report. Just your standard.
Oh no.
everyday
It
police
was
report.
no. It was court paperwork that my sister had that she hired
No,
this
you don't
grubby
get it.
lawyer.
You don't get
Yeah,
it.
and
You
then guess
said
what?
to
And then
imagine. You said to imagine a document that's false. So I did. An everyday
gotcha.
police
Yeah,
report,
not a
right?
report, but imagine government paperwork like this is court
Yeah,
paperwork.
that's the thing. If he has every claim made against him is false, but every claim he makes, even though video evidence, there's a paper trail saying that what he is saying didn't happen, that's real. But everything against him, even though there's evidence to prove it, it's fake. It's made up. Who's unwrapping something? That would be people. And it sounds like every single one of his personalities is unwrapping something. Yeah, Abby, you nailed it. It's a process server could have showed up, said, "Here you go, Mr. Lanto. Here's your court paperwork. I just need your signature right here. I don't sign thing. That'll make a contract between me and the state, and I don't do that. You can take it back." It's like, all right, I'll remember that.
With a bunch of lies or stuff that is untrue in there. It's like untrue. So I'm not mad, it's not like I'm mad that, somebody is saying that they gave me a proof of service. I'm not mad at it's like tough not to take this stuff personal. You know what I mean? But I'm not
what's the most coherent argument from the frauditors against the 10th Amendment? The one that I've heard the most is that the 10th Amendment doesn't exist. That the 9th Amendment actually cancels out the 10th Amendment. I haven't heard a good argument that blocks the 10th Amendment. Some have even gone, they'll name the amendments and intentionally skip the 10th and not talk about it.
taking it personal because I know that they've been doing this for 3 years. They've literally been saying that stuff is happening when it's not. They've been scheduling stuff. They'll cancel it and tell my sister and her husband, not me. It's just like, I get it. It's the game. I'm done playing it because
oh God, I literally hate correcting him so often. They don't just cancel things and not tell you. You show up or make demands and they say, yeah, no, we're good. I believe when they were trying to talk to the friend of the court, he tried to change it so he could go after his sister so that the person could tell Josh exactly what his sister said. And they're like, yeah, we're not going to do that. Then he wanted to record the entire thing. And they said, yeah, we're not going to do that. I think he went through 3 different times trying to reschedule so that he could do what he wanted to do. And they're like, yeah, no, you either come or we'll write it for you as if you did not show up. And sure as shit, I have the paperwork. They wrote it as if he did not show up because he didn't. This is the problem. I have all the receipts for these things. All the claims that I'm making, I have the receipts for. Like I've shown the receipts on stream. And then Josh's evidence is because Josh said so. It's like somebody's evidence is not sufficient.
you guys are toying around with stuff. And then KFARR, I had to say his name because he knows when the court date is, but he'll remind me of every court date that I have, but he won't remind me of the one that's a family court date, and he knew about it. And I know he knew about it because he said he talked to my sister about it.
Well, it's not his job. He's playing games,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's playing games. I'm putting it out there so it's on record that I'm aware of the games that they're playing, and I think it's really cute of them to do this. But it's not cute anymore. It was cute for a little while, but now it's getting to the point where it's going to be so psychologically damaging that. What's that?
It's not cute anymore.
It's not cute anymore. It's like it just get over things, you idiots. You're hurting kids. You're not hurting. I mean, who cares if you're hurting me? You got.
No one's hurting the children. This is the best thing that could have happened to your children. Oh, weapons. I was trying to talk to you earlier. People was talking about the Houthi rebels, the war in the Israel-Palestinian war. He was talking about how the Ukraine-Russia war is really a proxy war for the United States and China. he was talking about the 2 Navy SEALs and coming up with the most absolutely, hey, if you want up, you can absolutely come up, but they're on the Josh portion of the video. If you want up, yeah, they're experts. He literally came up. I'll just have you come up because that'd be just the most efficient, not sufficient. Okay, let me go to Discord and I'll do this. But yeah, Josh just okay. I'll try to do 2 things at once to keep the stream moving here. So I got on a frauditor troll stream with Josh many moons ago. Many moons ago. Sure, not camera ready, so just icon. That's fine. I got on there with many moons ago, and I was asking him questions. Oh wow, that's quick as a motherfucker. I just asked him simply, do you have a license? Do you have a place to live? Do you have car? Do you have car insurance? Do you have medical insurance for the kids? Do you have X, Y, Z? And instead of saying no, he said he doesn't answer questions. And then he went on to say, well, I know people who don't have their license and still have their kids. I said, well, do they have a car, insurance, a job, a steady place to live, blah, blah, blah. The guy was just talking about how he was about to starve to death until he found a box of ramen noodles. Weapons, are you alive? I see you're kind of up. But I hear nothing. But yeah, it's like, oh, you're hurting kids. The story that I heard, apparently they burned a pizza and their kids were going to go hungry that night. And somebody had to feed them. Magically, someone fed them. And it's like, the best thing for all of your children are to never speak to you again. Like, look at what you're currently doing. You're currently recording yourself breaking the law and then trying to fight the court because you got your feelings hurt. Somebody corrected you. And instead of saying, yep, you guys are right, I'll take whatever consequences you give me because it's the adult thing to do. I'll take the consequences for my actions. You go and try to blame everyone else. The dude's trying to blame me for why you missed court. Oh, the KFARR News Network tells me all my court dates. It's like, my guy, that's not my job. Oh, all right, we'll keep watching until Weapons speaks.
You guys get a sick, twisted pleasure out of hurting me. I get that. But there's kids that don't know any better. You imagine how hard it is for me to process all the shit that that's going on. Imagine being a kid not being able to process it, right? Like, for fuck's sakes, get your head out of your asses.
Imagine being a child and your lazy piece of shit father's no longer in your life and you live a very happy life. You never have to worry about getting evicted. You never have to worry about going hungry. He needs to pull his head out of his ass and really, I say this randomly, he needs to grow some self-awareness because clearly he doesn't have any right now. KFARR is a court clerk and a journalist, I guess. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He can find time for court that involves his frauditor crap, but never shows up for court that deals with his kids. You nailed it. Like, if you really were that committed, I know personally, if I was fighting for my children, I'd have been calling up there every single day. Hey, when's the case? Okay, cool. And then I'd call, hey, is it still on that day? Okay, cool. But instead, he relies on me to tell him when his court date is.
You idiot. It's not about whether I got approved service or not. It is in the fact that I didn't get approved service. That's why the court administrator right now, I got him on an email and I sent him that little screen. And I'll ask him, well, who is this lady? Why is she saying she gave me something when didn't? So it's a process server on some court paperwork. Just to make sure.
For family court?
Yeah, for family court.
Huh. And she said that she served you, but she didn't?
Correct.
That's perjury.
Well, perjury is not tried in a family court.
He sounds like he's in Mean Girls. That's perjury. All right, people. Or your boy's lying to you for attention. Wouldn't be the first time. The shit show, what's up? We're going over broken system, broken trust, trying to blame me for why his life is so shitty. Does Restream hate Chrome? I don't think so, because that's what I'm using.
So I watched this anti-alienation
No, it's not
video.
tried in a family court. It's a separate case, but that's perjury.
Well, yeah, but perjury is never prosecuted in family court. That's the problem. There's a guy, I just watched a video from a guy who got some legislation passed because he noticed that of all the family court cases, there were 0 cases of perjury, 0%. There was not one case of perjury in a family court. That's shocking. With all the lies that are said in family court, there's been no penalty for perjury in a family court. I've witnessed it myself. I mean, I've witnessed it firsthand myself. I'm not saying it to victimize. I'm not victimizing myself. What I'm saying is, if it's happening to me, it's happening to.
He says he's not victimizing himself. This dude plays victim so much, Jesus had to tell him to get off the cross. Like, at what point? This dude's. Yeah, why do I force him to sleep on his couch? Yeah, it's all my fault. No, if you go to his Facebook page, I don't suggest you do it, but it's just him crying about parental alienation. It's like, hey, you know how you could fix not seeing your children? I'm not claiming he's being parentally alienated, because that's not happening. That's not the factual story of what's happening. Did you just admit to watching Mean Girls here, Barry? I've watched Mean Girls a few times. I'm only 32. When that movie came out, I was like a teenager. But yeah, his whole Facebook page is just parental alienation this, parental alienation this. He's trying to get in with the parental alienation people, because it's like there's dads out there that, yes, are parentally alienated. They are great people. They support their children still. Josh is none of those things. He's not a great person. He doesn't support his children. Like, if he was really trying to support his children, he would delete his YouTube channel, get a job, get his license squared away, start paying his taxes, start getting his ducks in a row. The dude's nearly 50 years old. I make the joke all the time. He's near 50 years old and somehow 30 years behind me in life. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, parental alienation is going to be the drinking game we're going to have to play one of these days.
Plenty of other folks. So I get where they're coming from. I now can see how that happens to somebody else, because it happened to me too. Oh, it's pound me too. Somebody was really offended about the pound me too, by the way.
What's a job? Yeah, Josh wouldn't know.
Are you there?
He gone.
We may have just lost people, which is fine. Well, I mean, hopefully everything is fine. And, like a phone didn't fall and crash and break or anything like that.
God willing, that would be the
But
greatest thing to
yeah,
happen.
so anyways, this was a quick live stream. We got people backstage. Let me play these drops for you guys real quick, just to show you the new drops coming to the live streams when I fire them up. But we got this one.
This is the infamous YouTuber Broken System, Broken Trust.
We got this.
My Dixie wrecked. What's that mean?
What's that mean? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Is Chris
Okay,
still alive?
You said perjury is. You're talking about the perjury.
Oh yeah, 0% of family court cases. Yeah, infamous. That's correct, infamous. But going back to the clarification, is 0% of there's 0% perjury in family court. There's never been a case of perjury out of a family court, which I find shocking if that's true.
Well, that might be true, but saying that you served somebody is not like a family court issue. That's perjury. If you say that you served somebody and you didn't,
It's only perjury if it's not true. Seeing as how she's even put the addresses that she went to get him, and then signed for it, and then signed that he got exactly what he got, I'm going to have to go with, yeah, she's probably correct, and you're probably wrong trying to play victim. He doesn't want to connect to Restream. Terrific.
serve them, That's not in a family court thing. It doesn't matter like what court. That's
They've been hiding. Yeah, listen, they've been hiding and playing dirty pool. Like, I've caught them underhanded so many times. Folks want to know. Well, let me just say this: I'm not giving up on my daughter by any chance. This little underhanded shit that you just did at the court, it's just another. You're just putting it on record because everything now is on digital record. As a matter of fact, we're making a digital record right now, right this very second. We are making a digital record that will live on forever. I can always go back to this and I can always show you this bitch lied. If she's a processor, first I have to find out who she is. This is still an ongoing investigation. I should.
So I'm watching for public safety. It's a misdemeanor. Yeah, Chris seems to be intoxicated, which is absolutely terrific.
I may just want to keep my lips sealed for now and then reveal it all when I find out what happened. But it's no surprise there's more underhanded shit going on at a family court, and there's a child victim that's being, well, the term is...
Just because your brain stopped developing as a child doesn't make you a child, Josh. Give yourself some credit. You're almost 50 years old. You're not a child. That's the only person being corrected and possibly hurt. And if anything, it's just hurting your fee-fees. You know what I'm saying? It's Josh.
Alienated. It's actually she's being gate kept from me. You know, there's a gatekeeper keeping her from me. The alienation actually happens when they turn the child against you, which hasn't happened yet. She still absolutely loves me. So, and I know that. So I'm not, and like I said, I'm not saying this from like to play victim. I'm saying this to tell you that it's happening to a lot of folks. And I just saw a video on it today, and I hope I have a chance to link up with some of these folks, maybe have them as a guest, maybe bring them on Wednesdays. If Paul could be somewhat nicer to them, a little bit nicer to, some folks.
Okay, so I'm just going to say this now. Erica's not here to defend herself. They have come over to my home for one of my children's birthdays. Do you know who we didn't discuss the entire time? Didn't speak negative of the entire time? Josh. Because it seems like they've gone out of their way to not speak bad on Josh. But as soon as they see one video of Josh's where he decided to put his YouTube channel ahead of his children, then they're going to say, I hate my dad. Yeah, the shit you're frauditing is more important than him. Recording himself breaking the law is more important than his kids. Getting subscribers on YouTube, not views, not money, not watch hours, but getting subscribers on YouTube is more important than his family. But instead of saying, damn, maybe social media is the problem, maybe I should just shut it down and try to be a family man or try to get my life together. Like I said, the dude's near 50 years old and somehow lives the life of a runaway 13-year-old. He should just shut down his social media, give up this whole... Internet Explorer doesn't work either. What is going on? I connected, no problem with Chrome. Yeah, it's like, Josh, you're the problem. Social media is your problem. You want to be internet famous instead of being a father or a productive member of society. Like, again, you need to grow some self-awareness because clearly you don't have any.
Bring this girl up. Don't send her off running.
Don't count on
it. Yeah, the best. Listen, Paul is best man of the people. Paul is best man of the people. So I have to get along with the best man of the people. And the easiest way for us to get along is if I invite a special guest, let's treat that special guest nicely or politely, I should say. You don't have to go rude New Yorker right away. You can, I've
said it a gajillion times. If there was ever a point where I had to choose between YouTube or my family, my YouTube's gone. But Josh decided to pick the other way, where getting a longer criminal record, getting more subscribers, not more views, not more watch hours, not more money. Like, he made the claim that he did this channel to create generational wealth for his children. Well, my guy, you stole content. You're still stealing content, so you're demonetized. So what's the point? What's the point of what you're doing? besides showing your ass on the internet. You are literally, he's pushing information that was literally debunked 60 or 70 years ago. And now that it's 2024, he's like, well, let's bring it full circle. Maybe it'll work now. And it's like, stop it.
There's a place for Midwest. I know some folks call that phony and all that stuff. We like to be polite and we like to have our manners in the Midwest. That's just how we are.
Right. He has the Spock symbol, the greetings. That's his
Yes,
badge.
he has the Spock symbol. Greetings.
Yeah. He's
Definitely.
He's
Josh has main character syndrome.
Like Spock.
He is definitely out of this world. I mean, I just love when he gets triggered and just goes on, like, just sets fire to the.
No, I don't like Paul, but Josh is literally suckling at the old teat of Paul right now because Josh apparently can't live stream, even though he's live streaming right now. So he's relying on Paul to live stream for him. And he's trying to dog on him and shit on him for 9 people in his chat. Like, that doesn't make sense. Don't bite the hand that feeds, I believe is the saying.
The fucking, broadcast. That's fucking beautiful, the way he just fucking goes off like that. So,
Get some help.
But we got Paul Enslaved, best man of the people, doing a Wednesday show. I'm going to commit to the Wednesdays. I really don't want to sacrifice a day I could be working. But that's another miracle. I found work all through the winter, which is like such a relief to have. Oh my God, such a relief to have something that the trolls can't. Well, can't fuck it up because I wouldn't put anything past these trolls. I've underestimated them this whole time. The whole group of trolls, the army of flying monkeys. I've underestimated them this whole time.
Yeah.
They are powerful. They are powerful. They really are.
Weird.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Well, so this job is appearing to be foolproof.
So he's saying, oh, it's crazy that I found a job through the winter. To my knowledge, what Josh used to do was work at a kayak rental place during the summertime. And then, wait, who is the flying monkeys? Apparently we're flying monkeys. He used to rent kayaks through a company during the summertime. And then in the wintertime, what I've seen over the last few winters, he would, Paul Enslaved, good Lord. He would do the kayaks, and then he would work on a plow truck. And by plow truck, I mean, it looks like he would, I don't know, keep the driver company because he was always sitting shotgun. I don't want to think of him giving out handies or whatever for drugs, but that might be on the table too. But as early as the other day, he did a video for me, specifically for me, of him sitting shotgun in a plow truck. Who knew sucking dick was in demand year round? It gets cold behind that dumpster at Wendy's, allegedly. But yeah, he was doing that and then sitting shotgun in a plow truck. Now he's going to say something and kind of give me a radius to work with. So more than likely I can find out where he works. And guess what? I'm not going to get him fired because if he has a job, that means he can pay child support, which is the most important thing in this situation. Is if he doesn't provide child support, maybe. But the fact that if he does get a job at an actual place, that means he should be paying child support to his ex and to his sister. And I don't want to mess with that because that's just going to be hurting the kids. Josh has hurt his kids enough, but I hate that you called it mouthies.
Proof as far as troll sabotage and a patrol army may be coming after me, or maybe an infestation, if you will. I wouldn't be surprised if I would have people showing up, or folks showing up with cameras. I wouldn't be surprised if folks showed up with cameras. But you know what's beautiful? When they...
Okay, so let me get this straight. Before I go into what I was about to talk about. So you can go to random people's businesses. You can go to random people's homes and stick a camera in their face. But the first time somebody comes to you and finds you, a public figure, and wants to record you, that's when you have a problem. That's your whole shtick. That's the whole point of your channel, is to stick a camera in someone's face who doesn't want it. But then when somebody does it to you, that's wrong. Yeah. Are you afraid of cameras? Come on, Josh. Are you afraid of cameras? We're just trying to record some tyranny. You know what I'm saying? Also, this whole troll thing. I'm going to go over the definition or the slang term for troll. A troll is a person who posts or makes inflammatory, insincere, digressive, extraneous, or off-topic messages online, such as social media, newsgroup, forum, chat, online video game, or in real life, with the intent of provoking others into displaying emotional responses or manipulating others' perceptions, thus acting as a bully or provocateur. This behavior is typical for troll amusement, and it achieves a specific result, such as disrupting a rival online activity, purposefully causing confusion or harm to people. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. That's weird that that's what you get, weapon. That does not make any sense. But yeah, that sounds like what Josh does. I'm sorry, but his community, by definition, is a troll. They're all trolls. They intentionally say wackadoo shit to disrupt and harm others. But he's calling me a troll because I'm legally and factually accurate. Oh, damn. How dare I?
Do find out where I work and they dox it, they could always bring my kids up there while I'm working to say hi to their dad.
No.
It's only a mile from their place. Or wait, no, it might be 2 miles from the place.
So in my head, what he's talking about is he's 1 or 2 miles away from his sister's home or his current place of residence, which I believe is still at good old 17. So I have some time, like some, a little room to work with, a nice radius to work in. I'll find it. I have the resources. I have the people and the technical know-how to find it. But again, if he has gainful employment and is paying child support for his children, finally, why would anyone interrupt that? Nobody would interrupt that. So this is just him trying to play victim.
You're practically doxing yourself.
Yeah, I'm practically doxing myself.
Not really.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I mean, like a boot.
It takes 2 to get trolled.
You don't have
What's
a vehicle.
It takes 2 to get trolled.
You don't have a vehicle. You don't have a license.
It takes 2 to get trolled. It does. It takes it requires mutual consent.
I've been trolling, and if nothing bites, I'm out.
Right? It's like, here, yeah, we'll go trolling for the day. If nothing bites, we'll just let it off the hook.
Yeah. Just cut bait.
Well, there's 9 hate watchers in here right now. There's 9 hate watchers that are just hating the sound of my voice because they're like, damn it, we thought we killed that guy. We thought we would take him out by now. And he's still going. What the fuck? How did he manage to keep going?
How did he manage? He's gaining subscribers because many people think he buys them. He's getting no views on his videos, no views on his live streams, and is getting views on shorts of stolen content. I'm going to chalk that up for a W, Josh. Sorry. I won. Sorry.
Well,
Oh, you talking about people?
Press down. Now.
Yeah. But now, press now.
Yeah.
That's how.
Yeah. I'm about ready to press now. It's super fucking cold, man.
Gainful employment and get a house.
About this, like me and Winter, we don't get along.
Me and Winter, we don't get along. Well, hey, the price of rice in
Mogadishu.
Wait, where was it? Price of rice in what?
In Mogadishu.
In Mogadishu, yeah. Mogadishu is pretty warm, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we could have you go and take back the price of rice from Mogadishu for a little bit and then bring you back when it heats up a little bit.
Right, but
I'm just going to say, I've never been to Mogadishu. I'm assuming I've been to places like Mogadishu. or places adjacent to places like Mogadishu, if you drop people off, he's not going to have a good time. He's not going to have a good time. He's going to try his whole auditing thing, and he's not going to come back. It's not going to. We're not going to worry about the price of rice in Mogadishu. We're going to say, why is people in different parts? Like, come on.
I mean,
weapons. This is what the entire Gaza situation, Ukraine, Russia, China, America, the BRICS coalition. It all started because of the price of rice in Mogadishu. That's where the entire conversation started from.
the price of rice in Mogadishu is up because of piracy, because the Houthis and shit.
Josh couldn't even point out Mogadishu
from
on the map.
Shanghai to Mogadishu, even that route is still affected, right? And there's a lot of shit in the way, right? Like, I mean, what's so important about this whole thing is that a little non-state actor like the Houthis can affect global trade. They are affecting.
It can affect global trade.
Yeah, they are.
Do you think when
the big shipping lines are?
That's what I'm talking about.
The Suez Canal.
Weapons. This is why I messaged you earlier, because this is what started everything. The conspiracies are so wild with these guys. They're like, oh, the price of rice in Mogadishu is secretly upping the price of ramen noodles in America. And then somebody who's like, I want to say they were in Michigan, was like, yeah, the prices of ramen noodles have actually stayed completely the same. Like, oh boy,
right now because of this. So, you know,
do you think when KFARR was in the Navy, if he had to do like anti-piracy missions and stuff like that, do you think he would have hit him with his master blaster, his hydro master blaster on the side of the ship and been like,
is he talking about the old PP? No, I've been trying to stay away from for public safety. He makes me want to jump off a very tall building. But yeah, so apparently, God, and now he's trying to talk about me. First off, why would an aircraft carrier do anti-pirate? Yeah, weapons. You're like in my brain, bro. Why would an aircraft carrier be doing anti-piracy missions? That's like a frigate destroyer type activity. Thank you, everyone who's. It took 2 seconds for everybody to be like, why would a carrier do? Thank you.
Oh, pirates, I'm taking you out.
Definitely.
Yeah. He would have hit him with that master blaster. And the rear admiral would have been coming in hot. You know, the rear admiral, he would have been like giving him commands. And he would have been like, sir, yes, sir.
That's not what a rear admiral does.
Yeah, but I'm not making a joke about it. The U.S., that's what they do. They protect shipping lanes, right? And you know, there's like 9 straits around the world, right? None of them are by us, right? Like we have 3 coasts, but 2 coasts that have no straits in the way, right? Just natural harbors where ships can pull up no problem, right? But on the other side of the world,
yeah,
there's all these straits, right, where things have to get through. You know?
I knew it would piss you off.
And it's really easy to disrupt global trade when it's
where things have to get through,
right? Like, you know, cap a global scale, right? That's
so. Are you saying?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm not catching where you're going with that idea, because I'm 10% battery life, and I don't want to ask you questions to explain it. We had this Vegas VIPs guy in the basement, and I just wanted to bring him up real quick. We can get back to the shipping lanes in just a second. What's up, man?
Hey, good afternoon. I just wanted to ask you about that night that I guess KFARR is saying that you went to his house one night. I just wanted to get your side of the story if possible.
Okay, now here's the part where I'm going to correct it, because there is literally, yeah, he can't charge his phone. He said, oh, if I have to do this, I'm going to have to go somewhere and charge my phone, blah, blah, blah. Like, I've got the ability to charge my phone from like 4 different places just at my desk. Who would win in a fight between the Suez Canal, the Panama Canal, and the Birth Canal? That's a good question. Question of the century, even. But no, so because there's videos of what actually happened that day, not night, I'm going to correct probably what Josh is going to say. So bear with me.
Yeah, what do you want to, I got 10% battery life, just to let you know. But I saw you on Dummy Kruger, and just to give you a heads up, those guys are all like grifter drama channels. I see they're going to try to recruit you, or they may have already tried to recruit you and be like, oh, auditor bad, all bad. But I saw you on Dummy Kruger. They basically did the same thing to you as they'll do to anybody that they bring on their panels, and they won't listen to a damn thing you say. They'll claim they won with every little discussion. They'll beat you up over every. It's just unproductive to go there. Is what I guess I'm trying to say. So, but
it's unproductive because you come in with a false narrative. When your narrative gets corrected through law and Supreme Court decisions, instead of going, shit, you got me. Thank you for correcting me. I won't make that mistake again. You double down on stupidity. We all watched Vegas VIPs on Dummy Kruger. It was really just Dummy Kruger saying, hey, these are the laws. Your feelings don't matter. Oh, Poster 7 actually says this. Your Microsoft Word edition matters not. Like your self-typed up Poster 7 doesn't matter. The actual Poster 7 matters. And no, we didn't. Still going at 1 a.m. Yeah, we got like 20 more minutes left of Josh's stream. Yeah, they won due to facts. Josh is mad that we started talking to him with the intent of helping him because clearly he needs help. He's near 50 and not exactly in the best of situations. I offered to get him a job. I know Kick offered to get him some mental health help. We were there for that. We would have genuinely done those things. And instead, he doubled down and tried to say, oh, they're talking down to me, blah, blah, blah. They're not trying to help me. It's like, no, we were genuinely trying to help you. And now he's trying to play Vegas VIPs like, oh, they're trying to recruit you. It's like, that's not what's happening.
you're asking me about KFARR's house, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to get your side of the story because KFARR is saying that I guess you walked up to his driveway or something.
Fact.
Yes, I walked up
98
towards his driveway, and it happened on a day when I was out recording, and we just so happened to be passing by his house, and then little did we know, we heard.
That's actually false. If you notice, they kept, in the longer form video that they showed, they went to like 2 or 3 different people's houses thinking it was my house and were creeping in like their open garages and shit, and then eventually showed up to my house. When Wolverine Transparency, Adam Denlinger, was confronted in like every single live stream, he said that he had no idea whose house they were going to, and if he was told whose house he was going to, he would have not gone to my house. So this is Josh trying to puff up his chest a little bit.
Him getting into a beef with another YouTuber, and this other YouTuber has been known for sending other folks to your house.
And the beef I was getting into was with Joey, who's now in prison, over Josh, because Josh did XYZ. And I'm like, hey, being very polite, hey, why do you hang out with this guy if you're, saying doing this is bad, yet Josh has done all of those things?
Right? And he's actually been convicted on like domestic terrorist charges. As much as I don't agree with, police reports and stuff, there's a chance that like this guy may have been guilty of domestic terrorism on so many levels. Anyways, KFARR was picking a fight with that guy. So I figured, if somebody's going to show up to KFARR's house.
Telling the truth about someone that you're boys with, I wouldn't exactly consider that picking a fight with them. The truth doesn't exactly pick fights.
It might as well be me, a guy who's going to come there peacefully, just want to talk man to man and tell him what he's doing is stupid, right? And so
I just want to come with peaceful intentions. You've threatened my children at their school, and by extension, the other hundreds of children that go to their school. You threatened to assault me on multiple occasions. I believe you threatened to assault me in that chat while you were on your way to my house. So I'm not coming there with peaceful intentions. I'd call bullshit.
So I went to go do that because he was pissing a lot of folks off. And just like he does right now. I mean, he puts himself out there. He can be easily looked up, and somebody with bad intentions can come to his house. I was the guy with good intentions that came to his house. I wanted to talk man to man with him, but he wouldn't step off his property. He acted like a spoiled little entitled bitch. He stayed on his property. He sat there just running his mouth, and he wouldn't step off his property. I'm a guy who disgusts him so much that he has the opportunity to come punch me in the face, and what does he do? He stays on his property, and he stays in his driveway pissing his pants.
Again, we all saw the video where Josh physically ran from me and is still running from me a year and some change later. Yeah, so they gave me the paperwork like, yeah, you could easily file a restraining order or protective order against this guy. Because, yeah, he literally came to my house with all intention of intimidating and harassing me. Failed on both accounts. Yeah, I stayed on my property because it was my property. You were coming here talking about assaulting me, so I thought it was best to stay on my property. And instead of talking that game and being a Marine and ripping somebody's head off, you wouldn't come on my property. And then when I saw you, I kind of giggled a little bit. This will pop up later. I think I've talked about this a ridiculous amount. At first, I had my the old piece, if you will, because I don't know what YouTube wants me to say here. I had it with me. Upon seeing Josh hop out of the car and then waddle over to my driveway, I actually went and put it back in the house because I'm just like, not going to need it. That pops up later, but just know that. Yes, where you have the most rights and the most power on my own property. Like, if you were going to come all that way to try to harass and intimidate me, you should have done something instead of waddle up my driveway when I talk shit to you and then run away.
I was wondering, did he ever brandish a weapon at you?
Did
Just
he
these
ever
guns.
brandish a weapon at me? No.
No firearms or nothing like that?
No, he said a bunch of times. I mean, listen, the amount of
Josh is
times
a
that
Marine.
somebody tells me, you ever show up to my house, I got a gun waiting for you. Okay, tough guy, like, just give me your address. I'll show up. Let's put an end to this. Like, put a cap in me. If I'm such a horrible person, I'll give you the opportunity. Just bust a cap in me. Like, give me that gift of death. Just give it to me. If I'm a horse, and I'm giving them the opportunity to take me out on the spot. Does that make sense?
I don't know. Was that other guy Wolverine Transparency? Wolverine Transparency that came with you to KFARR's house?
He was in the driver seat, quote unquote driver seat of the truck. Yes, he was. Yeah, and I get beat up. And look, Bob is right. There's a lot of truth to what Bob is saying. And
See right there, his own chat. I would say it sounds like he used good judgment. Thank you. Somebody in Josh's chat supports me. Weird.
Bob was trying to advise me not to do it, and I still did it. I made a poor choice as far as Bob is concerned.
Who the fuck is Bob?
So yeah, but anyways,
His name's Adam Denlinger.
going back to
yes.
what was kind of, where were we leading before I got Bob's comment up there?
Oh, is Bob somebody in his chat?
I'm not
Vegas
sure.
VIP. Okay, well, I'll remember it. I'll come back to it. This is the part about being over here and up on my panel. Is I'll eventually remember things, and what it's great because it gives us multiple threads we can go down. We can always come back to a topic. We can always get on another topic. Is there a?
I was given permission by Mrs. KFARR that if he did step onto my property, I could put his dick in the dirt. But I wasn't going to go out of my way to go to jail for Josh, of all people. That doesn't exactly seem like the most logical situation, especially when I could just talk shit to him and make him run from me.
Another topic that you wanted to discuss? Have these guys been trying to recruit you over to their side, like Dummy Kruger, KFARR, Kick?
No, I wouldn't say that.
You haven't noticed a recruiting effort? They haven't said things like, oh, if you just give up the auditing, help us call out the frauditors. They haven't said anything like?
Oh no, they completely disown me. I don't think they want to
Are
recruit.
you?
Uh, I don't think they're trying to recruit, but
But
I
were there
wanted
ever?
I want to also
I
make
could hear I could hear their initial attempts to recruit you.
oh may
Telling someone the truth, the factual truth, and the legal truth isn't trying to recruit anyone. It's just trying to inform them where they're incorrect. It's like the most grown up and like logical thing to do in a situation. If you're having a conversation, the conversation is to get into the weeds and figure out where the disconnect is. We found what the disconnect was, plugged in factual know-how and legal know-how, and instead of going, damn, okay, you're right. You provided Supreme Court decisions disagreeing with me. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm an adult. I will grow from this. Josh thinks we're trying to recruit them because we're correcting them. It's weird. Yeah, we recruit. We have recruiters. That's a whole different division of the debunking community. Yeah.
maybe I overlooked that part, but I wanted to say also that I think that I've seen some of your audits, and I think that I think that you're trying to do the right thing. It's just that the cops have given you a bad rap, and you've been in some tough situations where, unfortunately, I think you've been at the short end of the stick, so to speak.
You got the
And
consequences of your actions.
it's kind of unfortunate because I see what you're doing, and I think that a lot of these situations could have been they could have gone the other way, but I guess the cops, they wanted to
Full medical 401k.
make sure I don't know, they wanted to enforce their will in the situation. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Their will in a certain situation. Well, I don't know which videos that you watched. I did unlist quite a few videos just to kind of keep it a little more simple. I have so many live streams and then static videos and then shorts that eventually I'm going to combine all three and start telling more complete whole stories, because at this point, for the 2.5, 3 years I've been collecting evidence, it's all out there, but it's in such they're in different places, all the bits of information to tell the full story, and that's probably my biggest flaw, is that I'm not a great storyteller. I get lost down.
It's not that you're a bad storyteller. It's that you don't have a story to tell. You have your opinion that you try to push that doesn't make factual or legal sense. If you guys watched, he will say things to police officers. The police officer will say something back. And instead of saying, that was great, he will clip that part out of a video and then get like fake upset and be like, look what this cop did, and put it out as a short. People want context. People want complete stories. That's what I try to put out. I try to put out complete stories. I try to keep my videos from 8+ minutes long, because that gives you almost all of the context of the situation. I'll put out a short if there's this much context to a situation. Great example. Today, Josh said, I didn't get served. I didn't get served my court paperwork. I didn't know, blah, blah, blah. So I cut out the part of the court document that said he was served at the addresses that they went to and what was served. I cut that out, put the damn Price is Right fail horns behind it, and that was the short. That's all the context that needed to be said was right there. Oh God, it just angers me. Vegas VIPs, what's up? We saw you on what's it called, big guy? On the old Broken System, Broken Trust. It's not that he's a bad storyteller, he's just a bad person. Correct. And we continue.
I get sidetracked, if you will. So I'm not the best storyteller, so I've kind of probably been putting that off because I know that's my weakness and I gotta get better at it. But I'm gonna come out with videos like that. I guess what I'm trying to say is,
did not know
I don't
that
know
about
which videos you watched, but some of them are from 2-3 years old. I just have to put them together in a cohesive storyline.
Is there a certain one that stands out to you the most? Like you have like a kind of like a
A favorite?
headliner.
I mean, my favorite right now is the one I did with Dummy Kruger because I put a lot of work into it. The arrested story, and then it says the complete story on it with the thumbnail. That one, I would say, if anybody's interested, somebody did make a comment on that video that they appreciated the work, or it was. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember word for word, but she said something like, I appreciate it because now I have the full story. So I'd encourage anybody to maybe look at that video. And if I kept the video public, then it's because I want folks to check out those videos. But yeah, I haven't really had editing software for very long. By the time I got editing software was right at the same time YouTube started coming out with their shorts. And so I just focused my editing down to shorts because I suck at telling long form
Vegas VIPs, are you still here? If you would like the actual story for what actually happened. Also, Tonto Epstein. That's a great name, first off. So I've noticed that a lot of these people, you'll see the Jason Guttermans of the world. He just struck Tones and like a bunch of other people because he doesn't want his name out there as his channel because the shit that goes on with his actual name. A lot of these people, if you look up their actual name, they have wild convictions. Apparently, Josh is a felon for his embezzlement charge back in the day. Wolverine Transparency, felon. I believe Direct D, felon. A lot of these people, you'll notice a theme. JC News Now, felon. Long Island Audit, felon. It's like you're not doing it to be an activist. You're doing it because you have a chip on your shoulder because the legal system held you accountable for your actions. Oh, dear Lord. Everybody's here. Keeping it low El Bay. No, I don't know if you guys saw this before. Josh threatened to come to my home to harass my children during Halloween 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. And when he did that, I just called up all of my cop friends. I'm like, hey, y'all want to go trick-or-treating? You may get to arrest some people. So I had like 5 or 6 of them show up. Richard Fulmer, I forgot one felon. What other felon is in the frauditing, grifting community? Oh, do we have something here? I heard it actually pop up this time. Maybe. Let's try that again. I have movement. Damn, I was even gonna let Vegas VIPs come up.
You can do that in a minute. But you can actually hear me. Like this is working.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Okay. It only took one computer restart later and everything was working. I was just going to throw in, just to go back a little bit, about the whole like global commerce, Houthi rebel thing. Maybe you learned this in your boot camp, but what was the Navy, the original purpose, United States Navy? Why was it made?
If I remember correctly, it was like basically not to like protect the waterways, but to make sure the waterways stayed open and open
Correct.
for everyone.
Ensure free trade, free waterways to protect global commerce because we were trying to become a global commercial power. That's the whole purpose of a Navy. And I think it's hilarious that the whole price of rice in Mogadishu thing. Oh my God. That is an anachronism.
What does that have to do with the price of in China?
Exactly.
Oh
it's one
God.
of those things. And they're taking it like it's an actual fact of current event. And that just is like.
Were you here for the 2 Navy SEALs thing?
No. But that did happen.
So,
there are 2, they did go missing.
Yeah. So basically people was going on and on and on about this giant conspiracy of, oh, 2 seals fell overboard. Seals don't just drown. Well, if it's in the middle of the night and they're fully fucking geared up, and he said one of them had a health or like a medical emergency, yeah, sure as shit they can drown. They're not like Jesus. They don't just walk on water. And then I'm like, also,
Yeah.
let's say they did fall.
Yeah.
Let's say they did, 2 of them fell off the coast of Somalia. Yeah, if I was the United States government, I wouldn't be like, yes, they're actually in Somalia. Hopefully you guys don't find them. I would just say, yeah, they're missing at sea.
Right. There's a couple problems. The Horn of Africa is one of the most dangerous waterways in the world. Not only is the weather kind of crappy, but also it's one of the most shark-infested places. I think it's the 2nd or 3rd most. I think you got the Cape of Good Hope.
I watched Black Hawk Down. I watched Black Hawk Down. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you don't want to go into the water over there. And I can fully understand why you could lose guys at night.
Yeah,
especially transitioning from a small boat, going from your rib to a destroyer or to a larger vessel. It can happen. It happens all the time. But under combat conditions at night, things get dicey. Like, oh, and
they never found the bodies, blah, blah, blah. And then I told my story. I was on an underway at the very end of my career on an aircraft carrier with several cruisers and destroyers around us. On an amphib, somebody took off their boots and jumped into the water. To this day, I don't think we found their body. They called every ship that was out to go to this one area to search for this one person, and we never found the body. Like, turns out, that's what happens in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Like, shit just disappears. Oh, hit myself in the fucking face with my strings. Like, yeah, it just happens.
No, yeah. These guys are they're just silly. I don't know what they think they're accomplishing.
The Ukraine war is really just a proxy war between the United States and China, and I'm just like, excuse me,
wait, what? Huh?
Yeah, and I'm just like, huh? I'm like, it's more like NATO versus Russia, but okay.
My 10-year-old kid could give you a better explanation of that war than that.
The greatest thing about people was he was going on and on about these conspiracy theories. What's the saying? Like, normally the easiest easiest
Occam's razor.
Yeah, like the most simple solution is normally the correct solution. He literally gave out all these conspiracies, and then was just like, yeah, but they probably just fell in the ocean. They didn't find them. Then why not just say that off rip?
Any guy who sits around at night outside with a massive beard and sunglasses on isn't exactly playing with a full deck of cards at his disposal.
If a man calls himself people and looks to be homeless, I'm going to say that he's not all there. But
referring to himself in the plural, that's never a good sign.
Yeah. All right. Fucking A. Vegas VIP, I'll bring you up in a second. I have the link in the thing ready to hit go, but I wanted to get through this nonsense. Yeah, it was just the moment they started talking, because I didn't get to watch until he started talking about me in the middle. So I had no idea that any of that was there. And I'm just
he was actually giving you a compliment. He was like, he said, oh, they're more dangerous than we give them credit for. They're more capable than we give them credit for. And again, I don't know, and this goes for our side of the community as well. I don't know why we allow ourselves, or you guys allow yourselves, to engage in debates with these people. You can never.
Did you hear my response of why I don't try to talk to Josh?
Well, not just Josh, but any of these people. I mean, Josh is one of those ones that you're never going to convince him. You could hit him with a brick, and if he doesn't think it was a brick, he would never believe it was a brick, no matter how many times you hit him with the brick. He's not going to.
For Vinny Vincent, I don't know what Vegas VIP's actual name is, but he's like, they run from me. They don't try to debate me anymore, and it's like, it's because when I ask you questions during a debate or a discussion, your answer is, I don't answer questions, and it's like, how many times can you do that before you just go, yeah, this isn't going anywhere?
Yeah, well, you know what they say about a fool, right? A fool will eventually. It's like if you're wondering if someone is a fool, eventually they'll open their mouth and remove all doubt. Yeah, and they do it on a regular basis. They do that. They'll do something like, well, I don't answer questions. Okay, well, how you ever are going to learn something if you never answer a question? your answers, and then the judgment passed upon them, or how you learn things. If they were to follow that logic through life, they'd end up knowing absolutely freaking nothing except their preconceived notions. It's a very, very difficult way, very painful way to go through life. Like, imagine you're at an intersection and you want to know which way to go. I don't know. He was. I saw him in chat.
Like the one time I let somebody sketchy probably come up on panel, he disappears.
Well, now there's two of us, so that could have intimidated him. I would have let you handle him. I wouldn't have done anything.
Yeah, like there's not going to be a debate. This is what happened, contrary to what Josh says. Like it's not going to be a debate by any means.
Well, and that's the thing. When people do these debates, they don't end up being debates. They end up being, I'm going to argue my point, and then the other guy's going to either defend his or just argue against mine. And it's not going to be an exchange of ideas of any kind. And there's no one there to go, okay, you made your point. Now we're going to move on to the next guy.
Vegas VIP. It's because I don't use StreamYard. I use Restream. It's a different.
It's fine.
Basically, it's just like a different version of StreamYards. I like Restream better than StreamYards. It's a little cheaper and it lets me restream to. I'm on multiple YouTube, platforms. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Kick right now, all at the same time for like $12 instead of paying $20 for. You can stream here unlimited time. Like I just don't do StreamYards. You can thank ATZ. Blame her for this. Who says
this is her fault. This is her fault. So
yeah. Oh, it's 1,000% her fault.
I do know that. Yeah, I do know that now.
Vegas VIPs. Let's give it a second here. Okay, it did pop up. All right, what's up?
Hey, I'm new to this platform, this Restream, whatever.
It's exactly like StreamYards. Once you're up, you're up.
Oh,
yeah, cool. It's no big difference.
Okay, cool. I wanted to ask you about this. I wanted to ask you about this Wolverine transparency guy when he came to your house. What kind of what did he look like?
Wolverine transparency? A fat guy with 9 toes, 1 hand, in a dark colored F-150. I can still hear you, but I'm going to get coffee. So keep talking.
He can still hear you. Keep talking. He's got earbuds.
Oh, okay, cool, cool.
My coffee is. I have a fancy office.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert for KFARR. In the next 5 minutes or so in this live stream that you have up, he calls you a flying monkey.
Oh, I know. He heard earlier. He called me a flying monkey as well. I don't particularly know what that's supposed to mean, but yeah. Wolverine transparency. We actually, not me because I'm blocked everywhere. Some people went to his live stream shortly after that because he had a live stream where he was like, yeah, if I would have known that's where we were going, we wouldn't have gone there. And in their video, they stopped at several other houses in my neighborhood thinking those were my house or that was my house. And I think it was like 2 or 3 different houses.
And you said they were lurking in other people's garages or something?
Yeah, a couple of garages were opened and they stopped and were like looking, like you could see the camera was moving a little bit, trying to like look into their garage looking for me.
Do you still have that video?
But yeah,
the flying monkey reference is a Wizard of Oz reference. Saying
I mean, I know what the reference is.
Okay, I was hoping so. Jesus Christ! It's like if
no,
you
like I know where flying
is.
monkeys are from. I just didn't get where he was going with it. Like, am I the Wicked Witch of the West? Like what?
Nah, that some other person in our community was manipulating you or controlling you. That's all.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. No, I don't actually. I would have to find it on Odyssey. It was actually Josh's video because he live streamed the entire thing. He literally live streamed while he was on the highway, getting onto the off ramp, getting into my neighborhood, and driving through my neighborhood to get to my house. So it was his actual video.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Who has heavier breathing, Wolverine Transparency or Glenn Sario?
Glenn Serio, 1000%, without a doubt. The dude's like 5'2", 400 pounds, and shockingly has a child. Apparently,
5'2",
Josh still has it
400
up.
pounds.
Oh yeah, have you ever seen that guy? Let me see if I can pull up a picture of him. My favorite picture.
That's a very wide aspect ratio for a human being.
Oh, Glenda.
I
Glenda's
tell people all
definitely
the
the
time
mouth
that I
breather
don't.
champion.
Yeah, I don't. Oh God, I don't think I'd call him an alien because a human being should not be able to be shaped like that. Let me look to the very end of my screenshots.
There was another
Medium
frauditor that
icons.
showed up recently on Takedowns. One of Takedowns videos, there was a mouth breather. It was a pretty decent mouth breather, but I don't think anybody can hold a candle to Glenda on both the mouth breathing content and the absolute rudeness.
He'll sweep your leg, bro. What are you talking about? Whoa, that's an ugly. There we go.
I think the video
Why is
that
it
most
like that?
displayed his atrociousness was the when he went after Officer, or was it Officer Ball? Yeah. That's a generous picture for him.
Oh,
is
well,
much
I
worse.
have to look through my screenshots. I like the one where he's walking around in like it's black tight pants with a shirt that's like 2 sizes too small, so his guts hanging out the bottom.
What's funny
That's
about
my
that
favorite
picture, though, is
picture, Glenn.
probably in the it's probably in the winter. He dresses like that in the winter because he's got natural insulation. He doesn't need a coat.
Oh, 1000%. He's like a walrus. That would be my best comparison. He's like a walrus. Oh, Georgia Transparency is a good one too. Or MCC.
Yeah,
Damn, you guys are
that's the
on the ball
that's
today.
the one. That's what Georgia Transparency was one I was thinking of. Yeah, for mouth breather.
Cool Clearwater. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time, bud. Oh God. But
Yeah, Walter. The Officer Ball incident was the beginning of the end of the old Glenda.
Well, which one was Officer Ball? That was the female. That
The blonde,
the woman officer.
Yes,
I'm getting a little pushback on saying female.
The kick-ass lady officer who was having none of his bullshit.
You're not even a woman. You're not even a woman. You don't have tits. You're not a woman. That officer.
Yeah.
My favorite one from Glenn was either the an officer got shot in the head and he tried to shame him for dying, or the one where he called the black officer the N-word and told him that he was a slave. That was a good one.
He is a racist. Yeah. Oh. Well,
Vegas.
This was.
You got any more questions?
Yeah.
Are you going back to that live stream of us talking, or?
Oh yeah. I just wanted to show this picture of Glenn. It's still in the background.
Well, Vegas, do you know that much about Glenn?
God.
I don't know that much about Glenn Sario. I've seen his post office videos. And I stand by my comment that I made earlier. He needs to get on some P90X. That'll do that boy some good.
Well, did you see the video that's kind of making the rounds again? It's fairly old, but he was coming at, I want to say it was during the whole pandemic thing where people were hating on Asian folks. And he was coming at this Asian lady, calling her Chinese or whatever. And a warrant officer from the Army was like, yeah, we can go outside. I'll beat the fuck out of you. And then Glenn's like, yeah, okay, let's go outside. And then he didn't do shit. Glenn just like stopped.
Yeah,
that's making the rounds again.
He was a Chief Warrant Officer 5, a CBO 5, with all the tabs. He was completely tabbed out, Ranger, all that stuff. Glenda would have, that would have been a beautiful thing to see if it would have happened. But he wasn't going to fight that fight. He couldn't have handled that.
Oh, he's not going to fight any fight. Glenn's one of those guys who's got one punch. After that one punch, he's gassed.
Yeah, you can just push him over.
Yeah. Timber, and then earthquake happens. All right,
then he rolls around his back like a turtle.
He's the world turtle. All right. Vegas VIPs, you want the rest of this video? We will play a little bit of this video.
Stories, long form content. But trying to get better at that too. But anyways, I guess my point is, if you've seen those videos, I mean,
KFARR.
What happened?
It looks like he got discode. So when that happens, and the StreamYards or the real stream is going to keep running. So now it's our show.
Are we still live?
So you don't know that. Yeah, we're still online. We're still streaming, buddy. He's just he'll have to reconnect to his own stream. So if you don't know that much about Glenn, the backstory on that guy is he was one of the, what I kind of attribute it to him as being a shock jock. You ever heard of a shock jock from like the 1990s?
Yeah.
So he's the frauditor equivalency of that. He kind of pioneered that concept in the frauditor world of doing the coming out and being over the top in every way, shape, or form possible and pushing the boundaries in order to gain views. And he did, and that's how he kind of did his thing. But he went too far with it. And the real downfall started with the Officer Ball incident. And this was back during the last few months of the Schrodinger's cat era. Who was a member of KFARR side of the community who passed away a little while back. You'll see Mrs. KFARR or Mrs. Schrodinger's cat show up in the chat every once in a while. But his community, the community people around him, rallied around this officer. They actually went out to her police station and managed to bring her a whole bunch of all the cops and everything, a bunch of gifts. And while they were doing that, Glenda showed back up. And then he finally got arrested because there was now protection orders in place that got him locked up that night. And then there was a court case, and then he went to jail for a little while, and then he got like this crazy bond condition or not bond, probation conditions where like he has to be very careful what he fraudits now. Mostly what he does is he just hangs out in airports for some reason. Hey, KFARR's back. The professional YouTuber is back.
My whole laptop just crashed. So I tried to connect on my phone. I didn't know if you saw. All right.
I saw something, but let it run.
Cerebral Tackle, thank you for the $5. Dear Lord.
Go to a PC. Okay. Put it towards a PC.
Well, you know, I'm still using the old laptop.
Chat, guilt him into buying a PC.
Oh, God.
And then when the two of us have insomnia, we can stay up playing video games.
All right. Oh, Lord. Okay. Well, Vegas viewed this live stream, so let's try this for the second time.
But yeah, I haven't really had editing software for very long. By the time I got editing software was right at the same time YouTube started coming out and shorts. Because I'm doing long form stories and long form content, but I'm trying to get better. But anyways, I guess my point is if you've seen those videos, yeah, I mean, I've tried to do this at first. The respect just, I think, got mistaken for weakness, so then I had to go to a little more, I wouldn't say aggressive, is not, maybe a little more assertive. Assertive is probably the then I started becoming more assertive. These trolls wanted to paint me as the heel character. It's like, I'm more than happy to be the big pain in your ass.
Uh-oh. I think he crashed again.
Because somewhere in
Did he crash again?
there's a third
Time to upgrade,
It's about
KFARR. Upgrade
dimension,
that internet.
right?
It might be the weapons and
that
bits
third
show
angle
again.
I know. Can you hear it? That's not good.
Hey, I guess I might as well say this in the meantime. I think Tones overthinks it is very unprofessional, and especially in that interview with that guy named Fappa. Tones overthinks it, lost his cool, and he just started cursing at that Fappa kid. It's unprofessional.
Well, Fappa is an idiot. I
It
think we can
might
all agree.
feel unprofessional. It might feel unprofessional, but he has no real obligation to, like, his professionalism is defined by himself. He's in a career field in which it's all about entertainment value, right? This whole platform is all about entertainment value. There's no standard on what that is. I know it may not seem cool, and like I try not to. And KFARR knows this, and we've talked about it before. Like I try not to go over the top on things, even when I really want to. Like I really sometimes. But like, it's all in the eye of the beholder when it comes to entertainment stuff. So yeah, it's not the kind of thing you like. I get that. You know, I'm in the same ballpark, but like, hey, some people do like that. You can't judge on that because there's no real professionalistic standard to the internet. You know.
Yeah, I didn't even watch it, so I don't even really know what we're talking about at the moment. If people can hear me, hopefully.
Hey, KFARR, are you a Detroit
We can
Lions
hear you.
fan?
What these guys?
Si,
Oh,
senor.
now we're derailing. I'm a fan of Detroit Lions because my kicker kicked a 70+ yard field goal in that little dome of yours.
We don't talk about that, okay? We don't talk about that.
But this guy's concept of like the truth lies in the middle, that is so basic. Everybody knows that. Expect in any argument anyone's ever had, like anybody who's ever been married, God forbid you've done that. And if you have, I caution you against it, just that's my personal opinion. But there's always a middle ground where the truth actually sits. He's not saying anything profound. He's just acting like he's trying to act smart. It's just waffling is all he's doing.
Yeah, where did this conversation take place? I'll have to go look after this. Was it on like Frauditor Trolls or something? The Fappa interview?
Yeah, Frauditor Troll.
Man, I didn't watch it. There's some people in the frauditing community that I would much rather.
All Tech Lansing.
Welcome to All Tech Lansing.
Sorry about
No, there's some people that I would. Oh no, you're fine. There were some people in the frauditing community that I would much rather jump off a bridge than listen to, and Fappa is one of them. He seems like he's like maybe 20 and has no freaking idea about anything. So it's just hard to. Who's that kid? That other one that tried to.
Hey, Vegas, are you on speakers?
Do I sound like that?
My bad.
No, that was him.
I was testing out my
speakers
speakers for a second there.
Yeah. No,
Tackle,
reminds
yes.
me. What did I miss?
Oh,
Cerebral Tackle, thank you for the $5 hairs. Apparently, Vegas VIPs, if you think DK has carnal knowledge of you, I'd be careful around Tones. Factual. No, like, Fappa reminds me of that Rights Ruckus Revolution guy who went around trying to record children in schools.
Oh, that turd.
I think he's locked up right
Yeah.
now.
I sent you videos
Ruckus
on
guy's
him.
locked up.
And he's
Do you
gone.
think he's locked up?
It seems like he quit.
No, you're back again. No, he's back. He's back. He's an intermittent host.
Wait, it says I'm green and full bar, ready to go.
That's just what
Weird.
your
Yeah,
coffee makes you think you feel.
Yeah. So you said you think he's locked up? The Rights Ruckus Revolution guy?
No, I sent you. No. Oh, you think that guy's locked up
Vegas
now?
VIPs. Yeah, you said you think he's locked up?
I didn't see him post for a while, so I assumed. But
Oh yeah, I he's one of the ones that I check regularly because there's something about. I think we can both agree you can't audit in elementary school.
no, yeah, that's totally weird, messed up behavior. There's no point in holding those.
Especially,
There's no point in pointing a camera at a child.
especially with
Yeah,
what's
that's
going
out of
on.
control.
Yeah, I don't want to say with what's going on in your community, but like a lot of people that try to do this are kind of getting caught up in the old how to put this gently.
One-upness.
Like no, the News Now Houston type situations.
I think they're just trying to do the next thing. They're trying to break the next frontier. Like go
Well,
to the.
I'm just saying it's like a bad look because what's it called? News Now Houston's in jail forever.
No
basically.
shit.
But, what is it? Civic Duty just got hemmed up like last week for the same thing.
I don't know if you guys saw this,
like,
but there's
I don't know
a
if
new
you.
guy called Good Citizen X. He was filming a kid on a swing or something in a playground, and he called it an
Oh,
audit.
playgrounds is one of their new things. Yeah, I've heard of this. There's a couple of videos where they've gone out to parks. They've gone out to parks and they started frauditing, and immediately all of the parents start getting pissed and getting in their faces, which is what they want. The cops are called. There's confrontations. That's what they want to do. And it's just like you're just fucking with you're just messing with people's kids to get clout on YouTube. What? Why? Eventually, one of them is going to find out at 11.
What is it? MCC, Michigan Constitutional Crusader, got found guilty of trying to audit a special education building in 2020. He got found guilty of it. And then they dropped all of his other charges, and I'm just like, oh, that's why you audit.
And that's the other thing. The prosecutors and the defense attorneys, basically the entire law enforcement, criminal justice system in our country needs to kind of like elevate the threat that these guys pose to the community and to just regular people, like to the basic functions of society. They're starting to erode at those, and they're starting to damage those and interfere with them. So there needs to be some sort of extra. What do they call those charges that they give people? Like if you have drugs and a gun, you get, what's that called, KFARR?
Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Chat knows.
They basically like make charges work or like worse.
Yeah, it's called like the word's escaping me. Not a
It's
rider.
2 o'clock in the morning. Things are escaping me right now.
Like it elevates things. It makes things worse. But they need to start doing that for this whole frauditor nonsense so that it gets enhanced. Yes, an enhancement. It's an enhancement. That's what they need to do. They need to make it an enhancement. Oh, you're not just trespassing. You are actually trespassing for another purpose, which is this, and that is going to enhance your trespassing charge to a higher degree. That's what they do.
Vegas VIPs. How do you feel about? I'm just chilling now. How do you feel about if prosecutors started going down the Manuel Mata route, where Manuel Mata was found guilty of whatever he was found guilty for, and because he was making a profit off of breaking the law, they made it part of his like release or probation that he couldn't post videos on his channel anymore. Your thoughts?
Well, I think that Manny Mata guy is an idiot because he literally goes up behind cops and just starts harassing the hell out of them, like cursing at them and totally berating them for no reason. So I personally think that guy's an idiot.
Shit,
But
Josh has done that.
but I think
I've been-
but I think as far as you're saying that as far as his release terms, his probation or whatever, he can't post any more videos.
No, he can. He can post
For the type
who?
of style that he was, his type of style of
So
auditing, like just
he found a
harassing
way
cops and
around it.
stuff. I think
So he
it's
can't post on his main channel, so he created another channel called Manual Mata 2, and he posts everything on there. It doesn't have nearly the subscriber count, and it doesn't have nearly the amount of views, but he's posting on there now to kind of circumvent the competitive system, if you will.
is it monetized? The second channel?
I want to assume so. I think it's got over 1,000 subscribers. I don't know if the watch hours are there, but it's been up for quite a while.
Oh, okay. If I'm gonna go cop watching, I do it respectfully. I don't believe in berating a cop for no reason. So that's just my
Well,
take on it.
let me ask you a question then. Say you were cop watching, right? And a cop is there's 2 cops, 4 subjects that are involved in the investigation, and they have the situation under control, but it's very tense. And if one of the officers notices your presence and says, "Hey, I need you to go another 10 feet back," are you going to go another 10 feet back?
Well, let me ask you a question. You said the situation is intense, right? So in this
Right. There's
hypothetical,
the people are yelling. They're aggravated. They're aggravated, but there's maybe they do what most of the times they'll do is they'll have them all sit down because that increases Leo reaction time, gives them a couple of extra seconds to react. So they'll have them all sit down. They'll have at least 1 or 2 of them, maybe the main instigators, cuffed because they probably physically don't have enough cuffs for everybody right now. They're waiting on backup to come before they start processing everything, and the situation is kind of tense. And they see you and they're like, "Hey, I need you to back up 10 feet. Are you going to back up 10 feet?
well, I was gonna say, like, if they have like a gun drawn on those suspects and they're like the
No,
situation is
they're
really
just
really
they're
intense.
just they're just sitting there, but they're yelling and they're annoyed, and you can tell that there's tension. Like you know when a situation is tense, even if nobody's saying a word, like you can just tell. So would you move 10 feet backwards if you were told to by an officer?
Yeah, if I can make the assessment or judgment that the cop is really like aggravated and pissed off, I'm not gonna go against their orders to back up 10 feet.
Well,
I'll
here's
basically
the
comply at that point.
I'm glad you would, but here's the actual answer. No matter what the situation is, if he says back up 10 feet, you back up 10 feet. It's an officer safety thing. It's been adjudicated by the courts. It's case law. You got to move back. They are in charge of their scene. What they're trained to do, and KFARR can confirm this, is once they have established it's their scene, they're taught you got to control that scene. Until someone else comes along and takes charge, it's your scene. So if they don't want you in it, boosh, you got to get out of it. And if you don't get out of it, you're now causing them a distraction, which just your mere presence, by the way. And I know a lot of frauders, and I'm not saying you do this, but a lot of frauders like to stand there with their cameras, be like, well, I'm not causing you a problem. You do your job, I'll do mine. It's like, no, they have to assume, and they're trained to assume that they can't just believe you on face value. Oh, he said he's not a problem. And then he turns around, you stab him in the back. Like, that's not how it's going to work. So when an officer says either stay in your car or get out of your car or move back 10 feet, that's a lawful order. And the 10 feet is them being nice. They'd probably have you rather tell you to go home, but they know you won't do that. So they're just going to say 10 feet.
Yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from. Officers always need to watch their 6 o'clock. They need to be aware of their surroundings at all times and establish their perimeters and maintain their officer safety perimeters when
Yeah,
they're investigating something. But it just depends on
and
a
it's
case
not
by case
because
basis, in my opinion, the severity of
it
the
isn't.
situation.
It isn't because if you do that for them and you do it right away, it'll make them feel better about your presence, and then later it might help you in the long run. You arguing with them on that point is not going to get you anywhere but trouble.
Are you familiar with, because we're going to talk about this because we always do. God, are you familiar with Ironton Auditor? Good old Terry at Ironton Auditor.
I'm not familiar with that guy, but I hear you guys praise him a lot on your channel.
So, because he's a cop watcher, I wouldn't even call him an auditor. He's basically a cop watcher. He basically, in my opinion, he gets the best information. He records from a distance that the police say is fine. Like, obviously, he's not broken system, broken trust is basically run up to the car window to try to talk. You've seen Chili do that and got arrested, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he's no auditor. Yeah. Terry should change his channel name to Ironton Cop Watcher. But like, he's not like friends with the police, but he'll listen to them. And then after, because he's being cool, they'll basically tell him exactly what happened. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to like get in the way and try to get all the information, he records. You can still hear, you can still see because it's 2024 and everybody's cameras are amazing at this point. But he stands at a safe distance and then talks to the police after, and they just give him the skinny on everything that just happened. Like
that's how real reporters do it. Yeah. That's how the real reporters, the reason why they can report so well is they earn the trust and confidence of the cops, and then the cops feed them information instead of getting in their face like a lot of the auditors like to do and get up real close. And then when they get told, and they know what they're doing, and don't think that they don't. They know that if they get close enough, a cop is going to yell at them, and that'll give them an excuse to engage with them and then get the clout that they're looking for, so they can later tell their followers, oh, look, I told that cop what for. Like, I gave him the business and I won that. Because he didn't arrest me for not moving, because really cops, the last thing they want to do is arrest you. Like, they really don't want to do that.
Well, actually, I would disagree with that. They actually get bonuses for arrests. But
do you know how much work that is for them?
Wait, time out. What'd you say?
No, they don't.
Officers are incentivized.
He said you get bonuses for arresting people.
So first off, to my knowledge, that's illegal. And seeing as how I worked at a police department, that's factually inaccurate. Like, that's not a thing. Whoever told you that, don't listen to others.
One of the beautiful things about being in a National Guard, or in my case, an Air National Guard unit, is you get to hear the stories and be around people from all of the various blue and white collar jobs you can possibly think of. And a lot of the people, I've served with probably 12, 13, 14 cops from every agency you can think of. Department of Transportation, Baltimore City Police, Maryland State Police, county sheriffs from all over the place, even DOD cops, and even like some quasi special forcey things that shouldn't or don't exist officially. The point is that if you ask any one of them, if they had a choice between arresting you and not arresting you, they're going to say, I don't need the smoke of all that paperwork. I'm not going to arrest you unless you piss me off. Like, unless I need to, I'm going to find a way to make my life easier, especially as you get closer and closer to the end of my shift. Now, that varies depending on if you need the overtime money, but I'm telling you, that's not what they want to do.
Let me piggyback off that. So I hear all the time, from frauditors more than likely, and sovereign citizens and those people. The officer just wants to fight me. He just wants to do violence. He just wants to put hands on me, blah, blah, blah. To piggyback off of what Weapons just said, that's a lot of fucking paperwork. That's like on top of a regular report and paperwork. Then you have to do our use of force paperwork. You might have to go to the hospital for a few hours to get checked out. It's just like a whole lot of smoke that nobody really wants.
I don't know if you guys have seen it yet.
You're going to fill up.
I was going to say the Angry Vet recently did a cop watch. He dropped like 75 F-bombs in the face of an officer during an investigation of a traffic stop. and the cop just ate it. It
First
was
off,
quite
Angry
something.
Vet.
That
Angry Vet is a gigantic fat piece of shit. Feel free to tell him I said that.
uh-oh.
If I remember correctly, he's facing like a bunch of felony charges for wiretapping. And he keeps wanting to fight everyone, even though, again, he's a gigantic fat piece of shit. He can probably get on the Glenn Serio level, but he keeps wanting to fight people for some reason. I also think I'm blocked from his channel.
Another auditor that I really don't like is Auditing America. I really dislike that guy from
The Ray TV. Oh yeah. Yeah. If somebody wants to write in the chat, Anselmo's record, if somebody wants to put that in there. Yeah, he's not a very good guy. And
he's a weirdo, honestly.
Did you see, however much I hate him, Fake Mike Real News?
That guy's weird too, man. That guy's such a weirdo, in my opinion, bro. That guy's such a weirdo.
I think he's chemically aided, if you will, if you catch my drift. But Fake Mike Real News snitched on Anselmo, talking about how like of a shit human being
You know,
he
there
is.
There was a comment Yvonne made in the chat. It said, frauditors are domestic terrorists. And I've been thinking about that for a while. And the definition of terrorism is to use violence, the threats of violence, force, or coercion to accomplish a political goal. And I think that there could be a case to make. I mean, I don't like to throw the T word around recklessly. And I don't think that they're an organized group by any means. I mean, look at them. Like even them and their, significant others seem to have problems getting along. But we all know that there's a mental illness side to this that comes in, obstinate defiant disorder. They're just raw, sheer hatred of authority and things like that go to the side of the aberrant parts of the psychological spectrum. But they are attempting to use violence, threats, coercion to accomplish political means. Like, so for instance, the call floodings and what was the Erie guy? Was it Erie Audits or whatever it was? The one dummy
Auditing
did a
Erie
big thing
County
on?
or something.
Yeah, the DK did an excellent, amazing job on with his expose on that. And that guy, he definitely used threats and coercion, his call flooding and all that other stuff. I mean, he got charged for it and everything like that. But there's a pattern to their methodology, to their modus operandi, and it keeps continuing. It's not stopping. It keeps going and it's spreading across the country. And they're all attempting to achieve the air quotes, I make air quotes with my fingers, the same political goals. I don't know, a DA in a safe seat in a county where he has some power might be able to make that a case. I mean, I'm not saying that they're wackadoodle jihadis. I mean, they are wackadoodle, but they're not the same flavor of wackadoodle as the.
And obviously, some of them are much, much worse than other ones.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are down the deep end. Well, that's where
you don't seem like a wackadoo.
Right.
Broken system, broken trust. What, 2 weeks ago, threatened to blow up a courthouse?
Yeah, you don't show up.
Yeah, to the point where they switched. Yeah. The judge had to step down, and now he's facing the chief judge of that district, and he's being investigated. Like
he's going to be destroyed in that. Like you don't show up on. I've never seen you show up on a police video cam channel because you were becoming such a jackass that you got like a normal police encounter happened. I've never seen you on FNN or on Takedown or on FT or anything like that. So I'm not worried about. It's not to say that everybody's. When I make these statements, I'm not saying they're all the same. Like you're all the same. It's not a homogenous group. But there is a trend within that community, within the frauditing and I link it to the soft sit community of aberrant psychological behavior, and they all tend to be very similar types of aberrant psychological behavior. frankly, if I don't know if anybody in chat is currently. You got a heck of a thesis sitting on that. 69.
Is he freezing up?
Me?
He is, but he does that normally.
I just have my head down.
No, but you have been a little.
Oh, terrific. Here, let's try this.
Low 5.
Oh, he's frozen.
Not on my end.
Try this.
Yeah, that'll help your bandwidth. But the point still stands that like,
who is the craziest frauditor?
I did glitch out for a second. See how the
it's your
craziest
fault.
frauditor. I just saw one guy. Yeah, there he froze. He froze. He's frozen.
Am I still frozen? It's crazy.
Yep.
It's telling me I've got a great connection.
I don't think it's connections. I don't think it's Wi-Fi's. I think it's network providers.
Terrific. In my defense, it is snowy, icy, and negative 10 degrees. So,
Well, that won't help.
no.
Did you see the video of the frauditors that claimed that the cops pulled them over for a retaliatory traffic stop? They were out running around. They filmed. The cops were involved in a couple of incidents, and then after that, they got pulled over because they didn't have a license plate on the front of the car.
I've seen Craig Hendry claim that before.
FT did a video on it recently, I think maybe today. And it was one of those classic cases of what not to do. They were cool about like when they were doing their frauditing, but when they got pulled over is when they shifted gears immensely and just went in complete berserk mode. Because the passenger kept wanting to get out of the car, and a no-nonsense corporal was like, "You're not getting out of this car." He just put his knee on the door and just physically held him in the car the whole time. And the guy was just going off on this corporal, and the corporal was just tolerating, like just standing there like, whatever. Like, I don't care. Call me, because the guy was just calling him a punk and shit like that. But that's all they want to do. They just want to cause that interaction. They just want to cause that smoke.
Well, I hate to always bring it back to this, but Direct D jumping on the hood of a police car during an audit, like, we can clearly see you're doing that for views.
I can totally understand why you guys call that guy Direct Douchebag.
Oh, there's some, like, we're trying to make the point that some of you guys seem normal or like normal adjacent, and then some of you seem like absolute whack jobs. And it's just like, how are we the same species? Like,
Yeah.
Direct D, it's a lot of the West Coast auditors I've noticed are like the craziest talking and do the most wackadoo bullshit to try to get views.
And you know, you say that, and that brings up the point that FT made, which was for all of California law enforcement's failings, and believe me, they have a lot of failings, they got it right with the frauditors out there. They put that task force together. Now, yeah. It took a while, but they're the first jurisdiction to actually treat them seriously enough to do the no-knocks at 4 a.m. Frozen guy.
How many years do you think Riverside is going to get?
He's gonna be there for years. He's gonna be eating some ramen noodles, if you catch my drift. Maybe people can send him some expensive ramen noodles from Mogadishu.
I would say he's going to do he's probably going to be in there for like 5 years.
Yeah, and I didn't know anything about him until I saw the video, and I'm just like, yeah, he earned it.
What was the name of that? I think he was a California frauditor that made the fake accent. He's not the only one that does that.
SGV, the fat guy who goes to the churches pretending to be an Arabic guy and pepper sprays people for no reason.
Yeah.
SGV.
Yeah.
and then has
they
like
don't
the
like
whole
him.
gang of people, like 50 people, come up to the police station.
Yeah, they're on to his ass too.
Oh, that's
There
why
was
he
another
came
guy
out
that was
and tried to walk back his support for that guy. Yeah, it's Stan Van
there's
Gundy.
There's a lot of that going on, like the fake accent stuff. It's like you walk up to a scene with a camera in hand, hat on your head, mask on your face, and then demand everyone give you their name except you won't give them yours. That's fun times. It's fun times. I don't know. It's like, at what point society has to make a decision? And honestly, like look at how it's affecting things. Libraries.
What tyrannical behavior is happening at libraries other than Moo Tits Josh Abrams accusing an old man of being a kitty toucher because he was
Right.
adjusting his shirt looking at a wall?
Yeah, right.
I'll never understand.
So we got libraries, playgrounds. Now we're going after schools. All this tyranny, all these freedom fighters running around fighting tyranny in all these places, yet finding none. The only tyranny they find is that enforced upon them by the people.
Is when
who
they
come
look in the
to
mirror.
No, it's when the cops come to protect the normal people from the weirdo with the camera that won't go away. No, and Scott McRae makes a point. DAs do need to enforce the existing laws. We don't need to legislate against these guys. We just need to apply what we have against them. Very good point.
Vegas VIPs, I'm like super unfamiliar with you. When did you start?
I started like 8 months ago, but I've been watching SGB News for like 3 years.
So you were watching, but you weren't participating back during COVID, right?
I wish I was, but I was just watching.
So I'll tell you exactly what was up with that. I go back and forth with Rogue Nation all the time about this exact thing.
By the way, I know where Rogue Nation lives.
Good. I could probably find out. He does want to fight me, after all. Dude's like 60 and 5'2", but he wants to fight me for some reason. I go back and forth with him all the time because I worked at a police department during COVID, like from the beginning to damn near the end. I worked at a police department. We were not arresting anyone for damn near anything. You could get arrested for unaliving someone, domestic, or drunk driving. That was it. Even if you had a warrant for theft, we would send them a message back, advise and release. So they're like, oh, we were legally doing this, so they didn't arrest us. And it's like no one was being arrested in the entire country. That's when these people got really big, because they weren't being arrested and they could act however they wanted.
That may have contributed to the SobSit thing where they're like, well, I went to court on this and they let me go.
Yeah. What did I just see? Rogue Nation may come out of prison jacked. He's probably going to get jacked from handing out handies to stay alive.
Yeah, his forearms might get big.
Yeah, he's going to look like Popeye. You know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe he'll just come out with strong glutes.
That's disgusting. He's going to intentionally drop the soap. Is that what you're saying? Oh, God.
Maybe he has no choice in the matter. You don't know where he'll fall in the pecking order.
Richard wants to know, do you have a criminal record?
In regards to me?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not you weapons. Go take a seat. Obviously not like, oh, you got a traffic ticket, you stole a candy bar. Do you have any like serious shit in your background?
I've been put in the silver bracelets twice, but no convictions. They were all dismissed.
Okay, so you're coming in clean. You're not like
clean. Yeah,
Rogue Nation who came in with a felony already, and Long Island Audit who came in with a felony already and shit like that.
No, hell no. And I'll always be clean because I want to avoid. I always advocate to people, it's so especially in Las Vegas, it's so helpful to have a clean record. Just when you confront cops, or especially with what I'm doing, the auditing, they look up my name, clean record, and they like, okay, we're gonna leave this guy alone. He's just filming from a public
Well,
area.
what
But
made you want to do it?
but actually, in
The auditing,
2016,
not the
I actually
criminal, not
was
the
I
bracelet
was about
stuff.
to go.
2016. What?
Yeah, in 2016, I was actually one step away from the academy, the police academy. I passed all the fitness tests, the oral board. It was just one detail that the background investigator, she was like, you admitted this one job at Blockbuster, so now we're not gonna send you on to the academy." And I was like, "Oh, great."
Interesting. That is not a
It,
story that I've heard many times.
it's possible that they were high manning, and they recruited for a class of say 60.
We're looking for this
and
much.
then they realized they only needed 45.
And you were
It's
46
possible.
or 50.
Yeah. And they just found some excuse.
Let's see here. Trying to look through the chat to see if they have any questions.
I was gonna say also, especially in the town I live in, Las Vegas, if you're an auditor and you look like you're homeless, you're gonna get arrested, like 100%.
Well,
That's why when I audit, I always dress in nice clothes, like almost like I look like a reporter. When
just
I'm out
don't wear a cardigan. Somebody on the West Coast
here's
already has the cardigan thing.
Here's an idea that you might want to try. How about redefining it and stop saying it's an audit? How about saying you're reporting? And then instead of doing the whole auditor thing of like, I don't answer questions and what's your report on? What are you reporting on? I can't tell you that. How about you go in with a plan and say, hey, I want to report on this story. And after the situation resolved, try to get the details, whatever they'll give you, and then make an actual story. Like KFARR said earlier in the stream, make a story out of it.
This is in no way trying to recruit you for anything.
Yeah, we're not recruiting. I'm actually telling you to do your own thing.
That was interesting how BSBT was trying to say that you guys were recruiting me or something. I didn't get that perception at all.
So Josh is from my area, obviously, because he came to my home. When we first started out, it wasn't like this crazy animosity between us. He's almost 50 years old. He lives from motel to motel, doesn't have a job half the time, doesn't have custody of either one of his kids, yada, yada, yada. And he was getting evicted all the time. His friend OD'd and he tried to squat in the dude's house until the guy's family evicted him. Like, that's what he's got going on. We tried to, again, I'm from his area, so I asked him, like, hey, do you want me to help you get a job so that you can, be alive? Keeping it criminal was like, hey, he's a Marine. He got kicked out for doing meth. Like, it is what it is. But Kick was like, hey, I see some things. You should probably go talk to somebody like mental health wise. I'll pay for it. We'll get you back on track. And instead of saying like, shit, thanks for the help, he tried to make it look like we were looking down on him for whatever reason. So like, I don't know where the animosity came from him necessarily. But like, yeah, like we didn't try to recruit him. We were just trying to get him like to be a functional human. And he didn't want to do that for some reason.
Well, also, remember we talked about obstinate defiance disorder or obstinate defiant disorder. That's a symptom of like any attempt, even an attempt to help to him is an attempt to exert authority upon you, right? So upon him. So he feels like there's an authority being thrust upon him. Even his saying, oh, did they try to recruit you? Did they try to recruit you? Again, he continues to feel as if there is this overarching authority being thrust upon him, whether it's from the Leos or from the watchdog community or from a frozen KFARR.
Oh no,
He
I
is
just
frozen,
stopped
right?
moving.
I'm not the only one
No, I just stopped moving like on my phone.
trolling me.
Yeah, I tried to do that earlier. I
So,
tried to go
yeah.
like this and just stop.
Vegas, if you were to continue doing the air quotes auditing, could you see a way in which you could change it into a more of a reporting style? Because
Compared
I've
to
seen
compared to most of the auditors, I'm very conservative. I don't go out and start.
You're not. I wish I could pull up these
What?
videos just because you were on with him earlier. Just try to stay away from like what Josh is doing auditing wise. Like he
Right.
will run up on a cop like on a traffic stop. He literally he's currently facing 3 charges in Taylor, Michigan. And that's where the whole bombing the courthouse thing came up. He found the officer in Taylor who is basically has those charges against him. He followed him, ran him down the median in the middle of the road, got right next to the car and started just cussing at him while he's at a traffic stop. He's done it like 2 or 3 times. He stopped at a random traffic stop and started rapping nothing but cuss words to oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on what the song is, but he's done that 2 or 3 times. Just don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Like I said, check out Iron.
I think that goes without saying. But one of the most popular things I see on YouTube, it always comes up my feed, is just the body cam channels, right? Now, this would be a longer lead time effort on your part, but if you were doing your cop watch routine and you were gathering your own footage and the story from the officers on the scene after developing a good rapport with them, then later, when the body cam footage is available, I'm going to sneeze, hang on. Excuse me. You would then combine your footage with body camera footage to create an overall product with a narrative courtesy of your inside information on the story. See, that to me would be an awesome way to present the cop watching world, to make that a productive thing. And you can report on it however you like, good, bad, or indifferent. Like the cops were bad, the cops were good, the cops did what they were supposed to do. And you can flavor it however you want to flavor it, but it would still be a lot better than just running around yelling at police officers because they told you to get out of their face or to step back a few feet and you decided you didn't want to play that game, which is what most of these cop watchers have become. And frankly, it does not leave, aside from what's the best way to phrase this? The not so bright members of the world, that's not going to fly.
So, do you know who you remind me of a little bit? You remind me of Big West Audit, or Big West Audits. I forgot what his name is, but you didn't. He tried to jump in cannonball style into auditing, and in the first month, I think he caught like 3 charges. And if I'm not mistaken, he got convicted of all 3 charges, like back to back to back, to the point where he's like, "This is going to ruin my life. Let me not do this." I feel like you just managed to avoid jumping in off a cliff and just running into charges. Like you seem to be doing it semi-smartly where you're not trying to mess yourself up.
Yeah, like I said, the power of a clean record is, that's most important to me. And I've been doing this for 8 months. I haven't caught anything, and I stay away from the high risk situations where I know that I'm probably going to get arrested. And if a cop, like we were talking earlier, if a cop is in a high intensity situation and they're about to arrest me, like I'm gonna back off. Like I'm not gonna take the arrest.
And then, so you're not going to get the arrest and scream lawsuit that will never, ever, 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 ever happen?
Yeah, dear God, don't be Chili. Oh God.
Chili is actually a cool guy. I like how he audits. He came to Las Vegas. I saw him record police.
And then did a dumb and got arrested.
You like how Chili does things?
Chili
Good Lord,
is,
man.
Did you see?
Wait, how old are you, sir? If you don't mind answering, that is.
You cut out for a second there. You froze.
Oh, how old are you?
I
We're not gonna get into the personal information.
I mean, okay, so are you
Okay,
younger
that's-
or older? You seem younger. Like I'm 32, about to be 33 in 2 days. But you seem younger. But did you see when Chile went to Ironton?
What was that, KFARR?
Did you see when Chile went to Ironton? Ironton, Ohio, like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, maybe.
No.
So he pulled the typical "I'm Chile, I'm gonna fight everyone, I'm a badass." Ended up getting arrested, and then one of the Captain Chad, one of the officers that's a captain, was like, "Okay, yeah, we can schedule a fight." Blah blah blah. Chile was talking himself up, talking about he's going to beat this cop's ass, and then he decided, I'm going to puss out of this fight. So it ultimately didn't happen.
You know what? I'm surprised Chile didn't get famous before his fraud. I was about to say frauding, his auditing, because that dude was ripped. He was like a fitness model before in his
the jock
early
sock.
30s. I think.
The jock sock,
That
the
dude-
thing you put on
that
your
dude was
penis so it didn't
amazing.
get sunburned. Well, he
Yeah,
was a Power Ranger and got kicked off of that.
You know what we call that though? Those are fashion muscles. That's what those are.
I mean, he looked good.
And
He looked
also,
good.
the only reason I asked
he looked
age
really
was,
good. You have to admit that, guys.
hey, look, I had a guy in my
You have
load
to
crew
admit
who
that guy.
looked
That
good,
guy was amazing.
Sure, but like, I had a guy in my load team who looked good. Like he looked that part, right? But we would go to pick up a launcher rail, and I'd be like, "Dude, are you even helping?" He's like, "It's heavy." There's a difference between strong, fit, and looks strong and fit. There's a difference. I don't know what it is. I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to be.
Is that true, Scott McRae? He got fired for sexual harassment.
Well,
from
he
the
did get
colony.
fired on the first day. That is accurate. I don't know about the rest, but I don't really dig into Chile too much. Outside of the jock sock thing, that was hilarious. What did the other dumb thing? Oh, he got ran off of TikTok, I think the first time, by the African American community because I guess he was being extremely racist. You can still find those videos on TikTok about him. It's a good time. Chile is not a good guy.
This is where
Abby Poland says
this is why I
Chile
was
is letting
asking.
himself go nowadays.
Not shocked. High blood pressure is going to do that to you.
Not
High
shocked.
blood pressure and bad knees.
He's got to have high blood pressure. But the only reason why I asked about age was because as an older person, that's how I kind of like judge a person's decision making process. So I'm listening to you and what you're saying, and I'm just like, okay, if you're a younger person, then I can see why you would think a certain way or why you would, and you know, it doesn't matter right now, right? I don't care if you support Chile or not. That's your decision to make. But as you get older, you'll be able to read between the lines and see the things that people like myself and even that this young ass kid KFARR here can understand. That are like, there are things that are flagged, there are warning signs to me with people like that. His aggression, the way he handles confrontation in situations.
Well, there's a reason why he's got so many confirmed restraining orders against him.
Right. I mean, that's just a red flag in of itself. Like, what? You have a back pocket full of restraining orders? Yeah, I kind of think that there's something wrong with you. But like, you gotta take it in the totality of a person before you make a decision. And that's why we were like trying to be like, hey, you know, you could do the cop watch thing, but you could just do it different. Again, not recruiting. We don't need people like we don't have a recruitment. We don't have a quote unquote side. We just do our thing. But you can keep doing what you're doing, but maybe make it into a story. Like build a story arc to it. Don't make it just the cops assault me, harass me, attack me, bother me, yell at me. That's the same story for every quote unquote, as Dummy Kruger calls them, freedom fighter around the country. It's not about quote unquote freedom fighting. If you want to do that, put the camera down, go down the street to the recruiter's office and do the dumb thing I did back in 1997 and sign on the dotted line. If that's what you want to do, if you want to fight freedom, or go to law school, or go, join the sheriff's department, if that's what. And you said you try to do that, which is great, which is awesome. But there's more to the world than just the cops yelled at me.
Who was it? Was it Walter that said that this was going to be 3 hours? Congratulations, you were correct. It is 3 hours and 10 minutes. I just realized that.
Hey, you've been going strong, dude.
Yeah, until I realized that it was 3 hours and 10 minutes.
81. What are we at? 80 some people at the current time?
Yeah. Vegas VIPs, do you have any more question about the broken system, broken trust?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. You brought that back to my memory. On a scale of 1 to 10, how afraid were you when he walked up to your driveway?
I was so unafraid that I put my gun back in the house.
That's more than I would do.
I'm 5'9", 5'10", like 210 pounds. I've got a combat background in training and stuff like that. I'm 32. I'm in shape. I work out. I run all the time. Josh is near 50, waddles everywhere, is like 5'3". Did I already say he complains about gout every chance he gets? He thought they were torturing him in jail because he has gout and they didn't give him some Tylenol. Yeah,
I have gout, and Tylenol doesn't do fuck all for that.
Exactly. And then he brought a literal, yes, he is a convicted violent criminal. I believe he got charged with armed robbery. I guess technically now it would be armed robbery in Wolverine Transparency. The guy's got 9 toes and got electrocuted and lost one of his hands.
Wait, so you're not joking when you say he has 9 toes?
Oh no, he has 9 toes. He said it like a gajillion times. He's got 9 toes and 1 hand.
So you're trying to say he's an inbred?
No. He got electrocuted and lost his hand and 1 toe.
Oh, okay. That
yeah,
okay,
he legitimately got. Yeah, no, he's not. He legitimately got electrocuted. It's you can run that down through the newspaper or a GoFundMe. Like that's real things.
Doesn't BSPT have a background in electrical engineering or something?
Who does?
BSPT
engineering.
No, he was an electrician in the Marines. Broken system, broken trust.
Yeah. Oh,
but he didn't get through school.
He got through school. He did 3 years. He did 3 years and then did meth and got kicked out.
I thought he got caught for meth during schooling.
No. Cerebral Tackle, thank you for the $5. KFARR is going strong. If he isn't doing a live long stream, he's making babies. Thanks for that, bud.
So this stream is currently keeping the population under control.
Yeah. But yeah, he got self-admitted. Like I have his DD-214. He got kicked out of the Marines, other than honorable in lieu of trial by court-martial. Or other than honorable, yeah. He was kicked. It's like 3 years and some change. It was meth. And then while waiting for a court-martial, he said he got caught underage drinking at the gate. And then they're just like, bye, see ya.
Hey, what's your opinion of tats?
Tats? I have no opinion.
What's a tats?
Troll auditing. I forgot what it stands for. He started out as I wouldn't even call him an auditor. He was just making weird videos about us. And now he's like a straight Wrangler 100% of the time channel.
Well, somebody told me that you and I got mentioned in a video recently for whatever reason.
I'm not shocked by that. I realized that some of the channels that are anti-Wrangler channels are actually going back 4, 5, 6 months, clipping out small portions of those videos and re-releasing them because they're hurting for content. So there's that.
It was somebody who, it was whoever, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's that frauditor or somebody who keeps thinking you are stolen valor, I'm stolen valor, we're all stolen valor.
Yeah, apparently
Because,
I'm so valor, even though my DD214's been out for 3 years. It's weird.
Yeah. Ask me a question about the A10. I can prove it. And my knees currently are reminding me of my A10 service.
Yeah, you can't tell, but there's a picture of an A10 behind him.
Yeah, Battle of Kunar Valley, 2012. Macaroni and cheese got ruined. And they also blew up our freaking cereal.
Oh, those terrorists.
Wrangler is really popular nowadays.
We're not going to talk.
He hit 800 viewers in his live stream today.
I think it's because he was covering who he was covering at the time he was covering him. I believe he was covering for public safety who had a court case today. And when he showed up to court, there was people there waiting for him. And then they stacked 3 more charges on him because Chris basically doxed an elected official's teenage kids. So that's always a great time.
Well, it's that, and that there's the internet is a very transient place. People come and they go. Attention spans are about maybe 56
Not
seconds.
3 hours.
So
not 3 hours and 15
a scandal
minutes.
yet today is out of people's memories in 2. Yeah.
It was about Chrissy, Joe, Jim Bob, and it was free trial conference. Terrific. Yeah.
I don't know.
Chris
if
and
you
Tiffany
caught,
don't like me.
I don't know if you caught Law Talk with Mike's live today, but he had a pair of TPO hearings that were absolutely insane. It was crazy neighbor drama followed by crazy grandma old folks home drama. It was perfect. The A10 is our love note to our enemies. I don't want to call it a love note. It's not what I mean. Essentially, we turn them into bologna mist, chunky salsa. That's what we do. Actually, fun fact: I've seen that on a targeting pod footage, and it lives up to the name.
Chunky salsa. Oh God.
Yeah.
Vegas VIPs.
Because if you hit a guy in the
back.
back, if you hit a guy on a moped,
I think you've talked about this before. This sounds familiar.
If you hit a guy who's driving on a moped at 30 kilometers per hour down the road in the back with a 2.75 inch high explosive rocket, he tends to turn to bologna mist. Like literally, when the smoke cleared, there was not a body to see. There wasn't one. It had gone bye-bye. How well did the T-72 stand up against a cannon? Well, we don't typically engage tanks with a cannon. That actually is a kind of a big fallacy about the whole thing. But if you got a T-72 from behind and you were flying with combat mix, which has a mixture of different kinds of ammo, you could schwack a tank that way. If you got it from the front, you would just kind of mission kill it. You kind of like mess everything up on it, but you wouldn't actually kill the tank. But we don't do that. That's not. We got all kinds of other things for tanks.
You spent all this money on fancy rockets and missiles and all that jazz.
Yeah, we got Mavericks, laser-guided rockets, GBU-12s, GBU-38s, GBU-54s. We got all kinds of toys. It's fun stuff. Oh, and now the A10 has the GBU-39s and 53s, which are the small diameter bombs.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, if BSBT came to your house again, would you be willing to record it and post it on your channel?
I recorded it the first time.
You did.
I recorded us like 2 minutes. He showed up, said, "Oh, I bet you won't say that to my face." And I called him a bitch and a bad dad, and his jaw kind of hit the floor, and that was kind of that. No, next time if he comes to my home, in Michigan, the stalking statute is 2 or more times to the same place causing mental distress. I would just call the cops on him and record him getting arrested. Like, I've given this guy so many chances. I told him straight up, like, we can just mutual combat. We'll fight it. We'll fight. You can record it for your YouTube channel. It'll probably be the most viewed video on your channel of me just beating your ass. But he, 3 years later, I'm still waiting for him to sign some paperwork. I'm going to need him to contract with me. I'm not the state, though, so he should be fine.
So you literally called him a bitch to his face.
Yeah. Yeah, and he literally went and stopped talking. It was good times. The shit show, what did you miss? Not much. Not much at all. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. All right.
Just to let you guys know, I had a new video today, and 8 cops pulled up on me.
Well, what were you doing?
That's what's going to be my question.
That's the context. That, like, I don't know if you heard or saw me talking about, like, Josh only doing shorts that have zero context. Like, if 8 cops showed up on you randomly, yeah, it's messed up, but there's probably some backstory that we need to hear.
Well, you guys can check the video out for yourselves if you want. It's on my channel. I posted it a few hours ago, or it's already been up for like 6 hours.
I'll go look after this, and then I'm going to bed.
Well, I think
as I've said, the kids have school off again tomorrow.
What he's getting at is so much of the content that comes out of that community, it comes contextless, which again goes back to the story thing. You know, beginning, middle, end. There's none of that. What you get is maybe a bunch of wandering around, aka we call either camera zombie, or if you watch Radical, it's camera wobbling, and you get a whole lot of that. And then what you get is some either very passive aggressive, or in some cases outright rude, taunting or engagement with some kind of staff, whether it's like a receptionist or a lobby security guard or something along those lines, depending on the facility, specifically designed with the intent and purpose to elicit a drastic response. So what I'm getting at is that if you create a story like, hey, I'm coming here because I've heard this and I'm going to go ask about it, or hey, I'm here at this traffic stop or this traffic accident, and it appears as if there's going to be a DUI investigation. Let's find out what happens. That's a completely different thing than wandering into a facility and just poking people with a stick, essentially. And it engages the audience. It creates what they call in the business a hook. You're creating a hook where you're like, oh, something is afoot, something is happening here. Not the audience just sitting there waiting to see what happens when you start asking the dumb questions. Not you, but like the creator starts asking the dumb questions that they always want to ask, like, oh,
what's the Third Amendment
complaint form, or what's the Third Amendment? Ask anybody that. Like, they're gonna be like, I don't know. That I took that test in like 8th grade. Like, what do you want from me?
Yeah, I think we all know what the Third Amendment is.
Muted?
I think we all know what the Third Amendment is, simply because they kept asking it so many times.
Well, I knew it before they kept asking it. But
I have one last question for you, and then I'm out of here. Thanks for having me on. Maybe we could do it again sometime. But one question for you, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Who would win in a 40-yard dash race? Glenn Sario versus Georgia Transparency.
I'm assuming from
what's at the end of the 40 yards?
That's a good question too. I was going to say, from what I've seen them wear, they would both be wearing flip-flops. That's a tough one. If I was going to say anything, I would say Georgia Transparency, simply because he was in the Army. So in my head, he had to run at some point. It looks like he's probably slacked off a bit now, but at some point he was probably running somewhere. Where Glenn, probably chases after an old donut after a while, but that's about it. Earthquake alert is what the chat has to say.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you heard it here first.
What you need to consider.
Georgia transparency wins that race, guys. I'm out.
All right,
No,
so
you have to consider what's at the end of that dash. Oh, he left. It's what's at the end of the
Golden
40-yard
Corral.
dash.
Golden Corral's at the end.
Then Glenn wins.
Oh, God.
Glenn wins.
All right. Oh, God. He runs to the buffet. I'm glad that we're all on the exact same page with all of these people. All right. I'm going to bed now.
He was one of the people that really he got me into this community, Glenn Serio.
Glenn?
Like my hatred of him, like the vileness of that.
If I'm not mistaken, my first ever video, I don't know if you remember, go back 3 years ago. It was Glenn Serio recording a guy dealing with the police, and the guy threatened to fight Glenn as he was like walking by. That was my first video that I ever tried to do. And then I think my second was he was driving down the highway and kept trying to give this lady sheriff deputy. He kept just driving by and saying wild shit, getting off, coming back around, and then just saying vile shit. I think those were like my two first videos. So Glenn got me into this shit too.
Well, I think we can all agree that the best Glenn video was the one where the CW05 decided that he had enough of Glenn. God, I wish Glenn would have took him up on that offer.
I put out a short. It's a short that I made, and I don't think I ever put out, or like part of a video where he's in Seattle or wherever, and the officers are walking with the bikes, and he gets pepper sprayed. I think that's a pretty good Glenn video as well. All right, guys, it's been real.
Yeah.
I'm going to bed now. It's 3:00 in the morning. I have to be up at 8, which should be great. Do you have anything to say? Do you want to pitch anything? Anything about the price of ramen noodles in Mogadishu?
I have nothing to pitch yet. Yeah, I have been.
What does Glenn...
In the coming year, I'm going to start doing more stuff again. I'm trying to move house right now, and I'm also dealing with a whole bunch of other associated issues that are beyond the scope of human comprehension, it seems, for some humans. But no, yeah, nothing to pitch, nothing to say, just great stream. Thank you for having me. And if they start talking about the goddamn Houthi things again, don't hesitate to hit me up if I'm
that's
around.
Why
I'll show up.
As soon as they started talking, I'm just like, well, I know somebody who would probably want to talk about this.
Richard Fulmer, the Su-57.
All four of them.
You might want to check. You might want to go over to a little page called Habitual Line Caresser. You might like that. Go check that out.
Good channel. Oh,
yeah. All right. Well, everybody, you can't see it, but I'm making a salute.